Here's Carlin.
You know I am not that bright.
On ESPN New York.
Fat, bald, nasally, I got it.
And streaming live on YouTube.
You're welcome. Yeah, that kind of practice ain't going to cut it, Geno. It's Carlin. It's ESPN New York. It's on the ESPN New York YouTube channel. Good morning on this Wednesday. We are thrilled to be with you. We've got quite the show planned for you today and encourage you to be involved at 800-919-3776 on the ESPN New York YouTube channel where you can coincidentally watch the show. How convenient is that? Couldn't be easier for you to be a part of it, to contribute with your comments as well there, and I would encourage you to do that at 800-919-3776. Just to be clear, we're relying on Trent Grisham and Ryan McMahon now to get the job done. You know what? Take it any way you can get it. 4 runs. Four. Frankly, an embarrassment of riches. Holy crap. Just to score 4 runs, it's that hard. I mean, Ryan Weathers is throwing goose eggs at the Seattle Mariners, making them look silly until that home run late. And then this is what it takes. But you know what? This is what it takes. For me, we will get more into the Yankees here in a little bit. I made a mistake here. I'm going to let you inside the, behind the curtain for a moment. I usually turn on the do not disturb on my notifications to start the show so that, nobody disturbs the delicate genius of what's going on in this room. And immediately, it is as if I have not done this show for 2 years now at this point. Because at 10:02, without fail, I will get 3 to 4 text messages and a phone call all at the same time, and it will catch me off guard as I look to my left. And I don't know, we covered it right there in the open. Me, not that bright. I can be easily distracted, and I was distracted there for a moment. But I have turned it all off. You have my full attention, and I apologize for any moment there that you didn't have it. At any rate, Giants, we have plenty to get to as well. Hey, offense struggled again yesterday. Guys, it may not seem like much to you, okay? But this is where I want to be with these two teams right now. That from Geno yesterday cannot happen. I feel like, and it immediately makes me want to put my head in my hand, I feel like I'm already going to start to be gaslighted a little bit about the Jets. Because if I'm already in August hearing from Jet people and Jet fans and Jet friends, well, it's Geno, what did you expect? No. No. Guys, no. 2 for 6 with 2 interceptions against the Bucs yesterday, and I know it was practice. I understand it was practice. That just doesn't fly, and here's why it bugs me more than anything. More than a normal practice would. It's because of this guy's history here and this guy's history last year. We have been very quick to give Geno Smith the benefit of the doubt when it comes to last season and no offensive line and 19 touchdowns and 17 interceptions. But some of the discussions that I've heard already involve that's the kind of day you're going to have with Geno every once in a while. Well, Geno's going to take his shots downfield and, you got to pay with that every once in a while. No. Did I miss it in Geno's Brett Favre? Brett Favre took a lot of shots down the field and would throw interceptions, but it was Brett Favre. It wasn't Geno Smith. The Geno Smith of Seattle and a few years back at 35 years old, I hope hasn't disappeared completely, because I am relying on the fact that I'm giving him a better offensive line to work with, and I'm giving him better weapons to work with than he had last season in Las Vegas. If Geno Smith is going to be that, if Geno Smith's going to be mediocre this year, Aaron Glenn might as well put the house on the market. Let's be clear. Mediocre and Geno, that cannot be a mix that comes together in these discussions. It can't be this season. Mediocre is what he did last year at best. Okay? That's mediocre at best. I need 24 touchdown, 12 interception Geno. Is that crazy? It's not. And that's the bill of goods that I was sold when the Jets went out and signed him. Not, hey, you know what? It's only a one-year deal. They didn't go sign him forever. They didn't bring him in forever. They didn't trade for him forever. No, guys. No. This is why I'm already talking about Baker Mayfield and the draft next year. I know all of that. But at what point do we win games? At what point do you win games? And it goes back to something we said last week. I'm tired of celebrating the limited times I see competence. I'm tired of celebrating competence when it makes an unexpected appearance. Oh, my God. Competence. See? If this and if that and if this and if that and if this and if that. I'm so tired of the ifs and then that. It's not about that anymore. Like, hey, Geno, they wrote you off, but they didn't write back. Maybe they wrote you off again. Can somebody tick Geno off a little bit so that maybe he gets a little more motivated? It's not even the word. Focused is the word, because that's unacceptable. That's unacceptable. And guys, I know there will be those of you who will say, just relax. This is practice in August. No, guys. This is the player they brought in to be the quarterback this year, and we can use the words stopgap and just a placeholder, but a placeholder does not screw everything up. And the Jets season right now depends on just competence. And while I'm tired of celebrating it, dear God, I just would like to see it from a quarterback position just once. Is there a reason for me to even say or even think that it's not possible for the Jets to win 7 or 8 games if I were to get a Geno Smith that showed up from a few years ago? Oh, I'm getting like bad vibes from this already. And that's not what I'm looking for in August. Guys, it's August, okay? I don't want to continue to think about how soon it is before my season disappears, before a season disappears for both of these teams. And that's what it feels like I'm putting a stamp on right now. At what point does the season disappear? How far can I hold that off from happening? Just push it back a little bit. We okay? How long is that going to take? Now, that can't be what this is about. What this is about has to be more about improvement and winning games and thinking about the pieces that I'm going to need next year and who my best options are going to be at quarterback. As I said to BT yesterday, what I'm looking for is an improvement to 7 to 8 wins, but with that, the thought process that if I added Baker Mayfield to it, then the Jets all of a sudden become a legitimate contender in the AFC. Because while Baker Mayfield is not going to make everybody else better necessarily, I know that if I have the other weapons and those guys prove themselves to be the other weapons, that Baker Mayfield can get them the football. And I disagree wholeheartedly with Rich Cimini. Rich was on the Jets Collective, his podcast with BT and with Jake Asman, and is talking about Baker and the Jets and whether or not it's a good idea and whether or not it would fit the Jets' plans.
I think that would be a mistake for the Jets to do that. That is my own personal feeling. I know Jet fans want him. I don't think they would do something like that. He wants $50 million a year. He's not a $50 million a year quarterback. He's 31 years old. I looked over the last 2 years. I think he ranks 13th in QBR. So you're talking about a quarterback who's probably in that 12 to 16 range in terms of the pecking order of starting quarterbacks. I wouldn't do it.
I'd put it in the top 10 to 12, but number one, $50 million a year, it's not absurd anymore for that level of quarterback. It's not. Number two, is he better than anything you have had in years? Baker Mayfield would be the best Jets quarterback since blank. Chad Pennington? Ryan Fitzpatrick? Finish the sentence for me, Ray Dinahan. Baker Mayfield would be the Jets' best quarterback since blank.
Geno Smith. No?
I think you got to go a little further back. A little further back. Seriously, you're a dead inside Jet fan, but you're a Jet fan nonetheless, to a degree. Fair?
Right.
Okay. He would be the best Jets quarterback since who?
I don't know that he's all that great.
I understand. That's not the question I'm asking.
Bringing in Geno. Bringing in.
Did Geno throw 41 touchdowns 2 years ago? Baker did.
And that did what?
The Bucs made the playoffs that year. The Bucs, all I can say is when you throw for 4,500 yards and 41 touchdowns, you're doing something right.
If the Bucs were in a division with the Bills and Josh Allen and the Patriots with Drake May, is he doing that?
I don't. I think if you have the weapons around him and if you're protecting him, I'm not asking Baker Mayfield to go and make everybody else better. What I'm asking him to do is to deliver the football to the weapons he has, which is something that I think he can do. And he's proven he can do when he plays with good receivers like Mike Evans. He plays with Garrett Wilson. I think he can do that. I'm not asking for 40 touchdowns. I'm asking for 4,000 yards and 30 and 12 interceptions. These are not crazy numbers. And what they're trying to sell me on with Geno this past year was that at least he'll be competent and he'll be better than he was in Vegas. Really? Because now we're starting to talk about when it's going to fall apart. Now we're starting to talk, well, what did you expect? No. I don't want to hear about what did I expect. This is my feeling. Would you rather have Baker Mayfield next year or draft another quarterback that's not, let's say, the number one overall pick, but let's say he's the second or third quarterback in that draft? Who would you rather have?
Well, as I say, Aaron Glenn's resume does not say young quarterback. It always says somebody else's veteran.
Yeah.
So does Baker Mayfield fit the Frank Reich mold? No. He's not the tall guy in the pocket, but...
What the hell happened to the camera?
Yeah, that's what I was laughing at before you went to me. Tom.
Yeah, that's a great question because the computer that's in front of me right now can barely function as it normally has for... I'm not going to go into it. Just blame the computer.
That was as if you dropped your phone while you were taping something.
Do you want to know what I did to fix the camera?
Yeah.
I hit the button that we're supposed to use. I moved it slightly to the right, and then it yanked the camera across the room, and then I move it slightly to the left, and then it yanks it all the way across the other side of the room. We have wonderful technology here.
And now I'm looking up to my left, and my own feed is on a slight delay, and I'm looking at myself raising my eyebrows at the camera, like, what the hell? What am I looking at?
Why did it go from Chris Carlin to thermostat?
Again, I told you guys, like, I can lose my focus in the span of 8 seconds. Exactly. I get it. There are times where I can be a little boring, but, let's cut to the... I just see the director somewhere saying, you know what? Screw the fat man. Cut to the thermostat. It's better TV. All I'm asking for is competent, And I'm tired of celebrating when I get competence. Here's Rick with a little more on Mayfield.
I mean, first of all, he'll probably get franchised. If he has a good year, he'll get franchised, and the Bucs will probably re-sign him to a long-term deal. If he doesn't have a good year, and maybe they franchise him to try to do a trade, a tag and trade, do you really want him then if he's coming off a bad year? I just have major problems with that. That is not the Jets' plan. If you take on a 32-year-old quarterback, sign him to a 4-year, $200 million contract, you are blowing up your entire financial structure after maybe a couple of years of carefully plotting all this cap room and building through the draft. They're going to have over $100 million in cap room. Everything has been methodically planned out to try to draft a quarterback and drop him into what they hope is a really strong supporting cast. If you go out and get Baker, that changes all those plans. They just did this with Aaron Rodgers. You get someone else's quarterback, it often doesn't work. To quote Parcells, how many times do you have to get hit in the face with a skunk before you realize it stinks?
Yeah, but you know what else stinks? The quarterbacks they've drafted. And the ones that actually did work out, the one that just won the Super Bowl, they got rid of way too quick. And he developed. If they drafted the guy, they haven't. They drafted Christian Hackenberg, for Pete's sake, at one point in the second round. Zach Wilson was the second overall pick. None of it has worked. It doesn't mean you stop doing it. It doesn't mean you stop doing it. The Aaron Rodgers thing, was it a dumb thing to do for the Jets when they did it? Of course it wasn't. The Brett Favre thing, was it a dumb thing for the Jets to do when they did it? Of course it wasn't. In the moment, with the information you had, it was a good thing to do. My point about this is simply, if the Jets are able to, in every other way, look like a football team, which is where we're setting the bar. Just look like a competent football team in every other way, then why wouldn't you go and spend that money to try to win in the shorter term? Why not? As opposed to continuing to wait and wait and wait and wait and wait. How long? 15 years. 15 years without the playoffs. How long? As far as Geno, just, dude, get your act together, okay? You spent the offseason getting pulled over every 5 minutes for speeding, and then obviously had the other issue, which I don't even know what happened there. But here's my point. Since you've been back, I haven't heard anything good. Since you've been back, I haven't heard anything good, and that's only a few weeks. When have I heard Geno had a lights-out practice? When you guys make a big deal about those, when you're hitting me with the 7-on-7s and OTAs and he's 10 for 11, allow me to point out when he's 2 for 6 and throws 2 picks when there's actually another team lining up across from you. Might just be practice, but that's still what it is. All right. Giants, same thing. Same thing. This Jackson Dart thing, guys, this is not something that is a given. Here's Matt Nagy, the offensive coordinator, on Dart getting acclimated to the new offense.
Yeah, he's done a great job. There's going to be highs and lows through this process. We talk about it as a staff. We have to make sure that as we go through this journey, we never get too high and we never get too low. Today was an average practice, maybe below average. It wasn't good enough. He knows that. We know that. We'll put it on tape, but we also talk about success through struggles. There's going to be some struggles as we go through this now in training camp and during the season, but how do we react? And when you can get it on tape and evaluate and try to show them what they're doing right and what they're doing wrong, it happens quicker. And I think that Jackson, per se, one of the most impressive parts of his game right now is the volume we've given him to get in and out of that huddle and some of the things we're doing, and he's aced that. Now there's other areas that he needs to get better at, but we need to help him as coaches too and do our job.
I can tell you that when you go back and you look at the last 25 years of quarterback development, one of the places where you have the most trouble is when you continue to change a coordinator on a quarterback. And it's 3-3. What am I talking about when it's 3-3? Well, so often when you draft a quarterback you are doing it with a coaching staff and or regime that is somewhat on the hot seat because that team had a bad year. Granted, the Giants drafted him later and traded up to get him, but that team was in a position where they had a bad year and they needed a quarterback, and he's coming in his first season. Okay, so think about it from this standpoint. When I say 3-3, 3 coordinators in 3 years, you go from Ole Miss, which is a wide-open offense, into Dable's offense last year where he thrived, and he did a very good job when he wasn't getting hit, into a third offense in 3 years. When you keep shifting up what that looks like, that's when quarterbacks struggle. You keep changing what the playbook is, what the terminology is, what the philosophies are. That's where you run into problems with quarterback development. So for Dart this season, this is all you guys really need to be paying attention to. The continued discussion about 8 and 9 wins, I don't know where you're coming from. I can't even fathom how you're getting to that number. I really can't. And it's not a knock on them. You want them to be a playoff team this year? Well, that's not happening. But you want them to be knocking on the door come mid-December? I don't think that's happening. You want them to be a playoff team next year? I could see that. But taking the step, I hate the phrase, it's such a stupid football phrase, taking a step forward, all that kind of thing. It drives me insane with little cliches, but sometimes that's all that's there. You want to take a positive step in the right direction. Whether or not you want to admit it, the Giants could be a 6-win team and honestly be a much better team than they were last year. That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for Dart, for me to know he's the guy. I'm looking for Neighbors for me to know that he's healthy. I'm not looking for anything else. It's one thing when it's the Jets and you're coming off of 3-14, and I got you a stopgap guy, and there's supposed to be a lot of other good talent on the team, which I believe there is, but you haven't made the playoffs for 15 years. The Giants have been bad. The Giants have been bad. But at the very least, they can point to 2 Super Bowls within the millennium. You can barely point to playoff games in the millennium with the Jets. So, from a Giants standpoint, that's where I can live with just some progress. That's where I can live with a season that does not necessarily have me contending for much, as long as I know I've got the answer on the quarterback. If I am sitting here at the end of this season talking about the draft and how deep it is at the position when it comes to the Giants, that's a problem. That's a major problem. That is a massive red flag. And do not rule out that that could be the case. Because the immaturity factor for the kid is still going to be lingering this year. I want all of it to change. Jackson Dart's got a chance to be really good. But don't set unrealistic expectations. For this season, he gets comfortable in the offense. He continues to grow. He stays healthy. And he's your guy. You're not asking anymore. Even with Daniel Jones, all you've ever done is ask. Since Eli, all you've done is ask. That's it. So that needs to stop being a question. And already I got people, why is it out of the realm of possibility for the Giants to make the playoffs? Well, you'll find out. I mean, honestly. Please tell me I'm an idiot here. 800-919-3776. 800-919-ESPN. So all of that on the Jets and on Geno, just go out there and don't screw it up. Don't screw it up. I know you're going to take chances. I know you're going to throw the ball down the field. I get all that. 25-12. I'm good. 3,800 yards. I'm good. don't try to soft sell me now on the long-term plan with the Jets, because all I've heard about is long-term plans for the longest time. It's Carlin. ESPN New York just getting started, 800-919-3776. The lines are open right now on the Jets and Giants. We will get to some baseball later as well. Jomboy is going to join us. I've never talked to him before. I am excited to talk to him. He will be with us at noon, and we will find out if, in fact, I am the Nozzle today.
Prizes, flyaways, even cash money. You want it? We've got it. Find a list of all contests and official rules by visiting ESPNNewYorkContests.com. That's ESPNNewYorkContests.com.
Delays in Queens on the BQE going eastbound 278 up by the RFK Bridge, Grand Central Parkway. That leg is backed up because of a crash. If you're going over toward LaGuardia, heavy traffic as well on the BQE split there over toward the Grand Central East. Southern State Parkway, a big mess. Over by Meadowbrook Parkway, Nassau County, a crash in the right lane. Jackie Robinson Parkway's been slow for a while. Eastbound Jackie Robinson to the northbound Van Wyck. Crash has been cleared, but police are still occupying the right lane. And in Brooklyn, the inbound Gowanus, eastbound 278 by 38th Street, a broken down truck in the left lane. Heaviest Hudson River crossing, upper level George Washington Bridge, 25 minutes with right lane construction. I'm Bob Williams on 880 ESPN New York.
Hey, New York and New Jersey. Commitment issues? No problem. Now you can get unlimited talk, text, and data for $25 a month forever, as in for life. Switch now at boostmobile.com. After 30 gigabytes, you may experience slower speeds. Pay $25 a month as long as you stay on the Boost Mobile Unlimited plan.
Miller time. People think it just happens, but that's not true. You know what you gotta do? You gotta go say hello with some beers. Make the plans. Forget the couch. Go to that thing. Play the game. See them in person. Talk to that stranger. Live a little. Small acts of rebellion that bring us together. Because legendary moments start with a light. It's Miller time. Celebrate responsibly. 2026 Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
There you were, surrounded by fans. Everybody remembers the game. Nobody remembers the guy coughing behind you. Till a few days later, at 2 a.m., you wake up with a fever and your throat's on fire. Now what? Urgent care? Closed. ER? Slammed. Telehealth? Maybe, but the pharmacy's closed. You needed a medical emergency kit. These aren't first aid kits. They contain essential prescriptions used for over 30 common conditions. Sinus and ear infection, UTIs, stomach bugs, traveler's diarrhea, and more on hand before you need them. Use your doctor-developed guidebook to select the right prescription or call their telemedicine doctor standing by. It's like an urgent care and drugstore at home. When you're sick, traveling, or stranded, you'll wish you'd ordered a medical emergency kit. Order online in minutes and it's shipped to your door. And save $45 with my promo code 880 at urgentcarekit.com/880. That's promo code 880 at urgentcarekit.com/880.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today. 1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 877-CARS-4-KIDS to speak to a friendly live agent. Donation is super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Go to cars4kids.org now, or call 877-CARS-4-KIDS to donate your car today.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too? Go to carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K.
Do you have trouble getting in and out of the bathtub? Are you afraid you'll slip and fall entering or exiting a tub? Safe Step walk-in tubs can transform your bathtub from an area of concern to a calming refuge. Call them today at 1-800-731-4558 and save $1,600. Safe Step walk-in tubs and showers are proudly made in Tennessee and offer an ultra-low step-in, avoiding that difficult climb over a traditional bathtub wall. They also offer a variety of therapeutic benefits that may help soothe your aching muscles and joints, increasing your mobility, boosting your energy, and improving your sleep. Safe Step walk-in tubs are designed to easily fit your existing tub space and are often installed in as little as one day. Just dial 1-800-731-4558 today to save $1,600 and receive a free shower package. That's 1-800-731-4558 for a free no-obligation consultation and to save $1,600. Safe Step Walk-In Tubs. Safety never felt so good.
This is the Michael Kay Show.
It's unfortunate that they are letting this string of amazing pitching performances be wasted. Because if you look at the way the Yankees are constructed, they've got a great top three in the starting rotation. Bottom line is, the Yankees, because of their lack of offense, have put themselves in an unenviable situation.
The Michael Kay Show, weekdays at 1 on ESPN New York and streaming live on YouTube. Presented by the Parisman Firm.
Get your comments in over on the ESPN New York YouTube channel, 800-919-3776, 800-919-ESPN. Let's go. Let's welcome in Lou in Jersey to start things off on ESPN New York. Lewis, what's going on, big dog?
Hey, what's up, Carlin? What's up?
I just did to you, Lou, I just did to you what I hate that people do to me is I hit you with a big dog, and I hit you with like some generic nickname, and I don't even know you.
It's all good. I mean, I called a few times.
Oh, no, I know, but, you know, we don't have a...
You know what?
Yeah, I know you, but I don't have a personal relationship that to the point where I would use a nickname like Big Dog. Like, for all I know, you could be 128 pounds. What's going on, bud? How are you?
Nothing much, man. Listen, I just had to take about the Jets and Geno. I mean, it sounds like you're about to have fall off the cliff. It's just one practice with a new offense, and Geno just trying stuff out. That's what the practice is for. I mean, I'm a Titans fan, so we're not great either. But I just think you're going off the deep end right now, real quick with just one practice. But I would rather have Baker Mayfield if I had an option. I would rather have Baker because he's definitely going to ball out.
Yeah, it's not even close. It's not even a discussion. Now,
he's way better.
Listen, I understand being, in your mind, I'm sure, reasonable and rational about a bad practice. What my problem would be is that I have not heard anything good about Geno since he's been a Jet. And that's where I run into issues. The off-the-field stuff, all right, it's getting speeding tickets, whatever, and I don't know what happened with the girlfriend or ex-girlfriend or whatever went on there. Point is, none of the stuff has been, well, Geno looks amazing. Geno's been throwing darts all over the place. Geno's been hitting receivers left and right, in stride, for easy touchdowns. No, that's not what I have heard. What I have heard is that he looks not good. And I just want what I was promised. And what I was promised was competent quarterback play. I will celebrate competence, even though I hate doing that so much. I will embrace it. I will hug the life out of competence at the position right now. How about Andy in Villanova next on ESPN New York? Andy, what's going on?
Chris, I totally agree with you. Baker would be the best quarterback since Sanchez, certainly, early Sanchez, and probably Pennington when you put the whole package together. This is a guy, I remember in 2020 with the Browns, he was this close to knocking the Chiefs off in Kansas City in the divisional round of the playoffs and going to the AFC Championship. The Browns. I mean, all his intangibles, he's a pro. And let's face it, with this, the difference between him and Aaron Rodgers is 42. This guy's 32. Let's not, make him out to be a fossil like Rodgers. And then, the bottom line is, you plug him into this team, Aaron Glenn notwithstanding, they should easily make the playoffs. I put money down on them getting a wild card this year, and even in the division in a wild card. I do think it could happen.
Hang on. I just want to make sure you knew I was listening when you said they should
I'm sorry. I'm running on.
They should easily make the playoffs this year, Andy. Did you say that?
I did say that.
Andy.
I think the offense is stacked with a quarterback like Mayfield, and they got Frank Reich in there to bring some regularity to it.
If they had Mayfield this year, yes. Okay. I thought you were saying like right now.
This year.
Right now, I thought you were saying that they should easily make the playoffs. I'm like, huh? No. Because of Geno. Listen, Andy, there's no doubt he would make them infinitely better right now.
Yeah.
We're not talking about for right now in the short term, okay? We're talking about next year on the Baker thing so that we're all clear on that. They're not going to trade Baker Mayfield away right now. Did we ever settle on whether or not I'm supposed to leave the mic open if I sneeze?
Yeah, I believe you're supposed to leave it open. But you have been closing it if it's like a really...
It's an instinct.
Yeah, you've been closing the mic if it's a really weak sneeze.
Yeah, that wasn't a weak one. That's why I asked the question. Sometimes you just can't tell what's coming. It's a real roll of the dice. I don't know if I'm going to be able to blow the doors off this joint or if it's just a little...
Well, listen, all I do is expect the best of you, so I expect these sneezes to be like earthquake-setting sneezes.
All of a sudden, that last sneeze that I just faked sounded like Peter doing Freddie Kitchens. Ike on the road. Next. Ike, what's up? How are you?
All right, Chris. Are you ready for this?
Oh, boy.
All right. You know what? You're killing Geno left and right. Let's get a couple of facts in here, all right? I know you think he had a not-so-good year last year. Almost said a bad word. But you know what?
Either would be correct, yes.
67% on his passes, all right?
Yep.
You know, in the Jet history, one other quarterback has thrown for 65% or better. He threw for 3,000 yards. In our history, only 14 quarterbacks have done that. And we're both going to say he didn't have a good year. If he bounces back even a little bit, he's going to wind up having one of the best quarterback seasons we've ever had. You're killing the whole organization. Chris, we have a new GM.
I'm not killing the whole organization.
Oh, you sure did. You were talking about all the bad quarterbacks we've had. Look at the GMs we've had.
That's not killing them. That's just laying out facts.
We finally have a guy who's competent. Give the guy a break. He's been here a year. Jesus, come on.
Is 17 interceptions
Look at what he's done
competent?
so far.
Is 17 interceptions
I'm
last year
talking about
competent?
the GM. I was just talking about the GM. And last year, 17 interceptions. Yeah, he's playing behind a line that was like a sieve.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I
totally agree with that. But when I see it is a big deal
and now he's got one of the best offensive lines to play behind. And look at the offensive. He has offensive weapons now. He had nobody last year.
I understand. But look at what
receiver was his tight end, and he was out.
And the tight end was hurt, and they traded Jacoby Myers. You don't have to give me chapter and verse on the Raiders. I'm fully familiar with what happened. What I'm telling you is that yes, while he has what I believe to be plenty of weapons to work with and a good offensive line, he stunk yesterday when he was lined up against another team. And competent is not good one day, bad the next. That's mediocre. Competent is not good one day, bad the next.
What about the 2 touchdowns he threw yesterday?
Did he throw 6 and I missed it?
He had 15 for 15. Come on.
What?
Be fair.
15 for 15 when? In 7-on-7?
Or in practice.
Yeah, in 7-on-7. That's when nobody's rushing you. 15 for 15. Come on. Come on. Guys, when the other team is lining up against you, that's how I have to grade you. There's nobody doing that there. And competent's your word, man. Competent is not good one day, bad the next. It's not. Competent is, I'm not going to kill you. Is that too much to ask for? Is I'm not going to kill you too much to ask for? Apparently it has been for 20-plus years, other than the years that Sanchez didn't kill him. And Fitzpatrick's 1 year, where I grew the damn beard because of him. Signed the damn contract, and then what happened? You went out and stunk. That one's on me. 800-919-3776. 800-919-ESPN. It's Carlin. It's ESPN New York. You know, there's a lot of people that have been diving into the $2.6 billion that the Yankees took yesterday and had been in private equity money from Apollo Capital and thinking that all of a sudden this is going to change and they're going to spend like the Dodgers. Not so fast, my friend.
Is DiPietro and Rothenberg.
I take the car service home heavily medicated on Ativan, right? And my wife had told me prior to that she didn't like the way I was on Ativan, that I became hostile and agitated. So the Giants lose that game 24-21. I said, I can't take it anymore. The season is over. And I took the vinegar and I dumped the vinegar out on her computer. And she said, what is the matter with you?
You dumped the vinegar onto the computer.
Yeah, but don't stop there.
Oh, my God.
She goes, what's the matter with you? I said, nothing. You want to see the matter? At this point, the kids.
The poor kids. Are the kids okay?
This is DiPietro and Rothenberg.
And I don't remember what happened from that moment on, but I'm not allowed to take Ativan anymore.
Morning Start with DiPietro and Rothenberg. Weekdays from 6 to 10 on ESPN New York and streaming live on YouTube.
Miller time. People think it just happens, but that's not true. You know what you gotta do? You gotta go say hello with some beers. Make the plans. Forget the couch. Go to that thing. Play the game. See him in person. Talk to that stranger. Live a little. Small acts of rebellion that bring us together. Because legendary moments start with a light. It's Miller time. Celebrate responsibly. 2026 Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Hey Yankees fans, gather a group of 10 or more and take advantage of our 2026 Yankees group ticket specials. Whether you're getting together with family and friends, organizing a fundraiser, or entertaining clients, your group will love bonding over the Bronx Bombers. Start planning your 2026 group outings today. Log on to Yankees.com/groups. Call 212-YANKEES or email us at groups@Yankees.com. That's 2026 group tickets. Call 212-YANKEES or visit Yankees.com/groups today.
This is Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg.
I'm telling you right now, I'm buying stock in 96.
I might be buying a jersey.
This kid, Lombard, is not overhyped. This kid is exactly the goods. And it doesn't mean he's not going to have a bad game every now and then. There's a way people move and act and talk that tell you, oh yeah, it's in him. Now it's a matter of sit back and let's watch it happen.
Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg. Weekdays at 3 on ESPN New York and streaming live on YouTube.
Hey guys, it's Peter Rosenberg. And listen, you know me. I'm always honest about what's going on with my life. And recently, I've just been dealing with some nagging pain that I finally decided I wasn't going to ignore anymore. So I ran into my guy, Dr. Jay Shah at Samwell Pain. Decided to set a meeting. And after we talked, I understood why so many people recommend him. He's Ivy League trained, all right? He's the real deal. He's double board certified, and he takes a non-surgical approach to helping people get back to living their lives. If pain is keeping you from enjoying your summer, don't just live with it. Go check out Samwell Pain. Visit SamwellPain.com. Trust me.
Progressive knows you think the grass is always greener. Like maybe you ride a motorcycle. But today, it's raining. So you wish you had an RV. But if you did, you'd have to listen to some guy parked next to it at a campsite plays acoustic guitar. Now, before you start wishing you had a boat, remember, your brother-in-law would invite himself every weekend.
Permission to come aboard, Captain?
But one thing that is greener is the money you could save when you bundle your RV, boat, or motorcycle with your home or auto with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and third-party insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Okay, all signed up. Easy. Now let's run payroll. What the? Hey, girl. I'm you with more gusto. Nice. Who's that? New social media manager, hired and onboarded with gusto. And spoiler, we're kind of famous now. Wait, we're famous? Oh, well, I'm famous. Payroll, benefits, and HR. Designed and built for small businesses. Choose a future with gusto.
This is the Michael K. Show.
It's unfortunate that they are letting this string of amazing pitching performances be wasted. Because if you look at the way the Yankees are constructed, they've got a great top three in the starting rotation. Bottom line is, the Yankees, because of their lack of offense, have put themselves in an unenviable situation.
The Michael K. Show, weekdays at 1 on ESPN New York and streaming live on YouTube. Presented by the Parisman Firm.
Who led the league in interceptions last year? Was it Tua? Who was that? Oh, no, it was Geno. Yeah. No, it was Geno. I know, guys. Offensive line stunk. I understand. Don't get nuts here. Seriously. Dave in the car is next. ESPN New York. Dave, how are you, buddy?
Hey, I'm doing fine. Look, I want to get an opinion on this. I hear a lot of Baker Mayfield calls, and we know this will happen possibly next year. I'm looking at Baker Mayfield. Let me just look at it. I'm going to give you my opinion of him. He's the same loser that Geno Smith is.
How?
You take any quarterback. Let's look at it. You go to Cleveland. You start out the gate. The only reason he has more yards thrown than Geno Smith is because he's played more in Cleveland. He failed in Cleveland. He has more interceptions historically than Geno Smith. He has a less passing percentage than Geno Smith. If he was so good, how come the Rams didn't keep him? They could have signed him.
Oh, I know. The Rams had a guy named Stafford when they had won the Super Bowl with him, and he was hurt. The Rams only picked him up.
Right.
Baker wanted to go be a quarterback somewhere else.
Think about it. Think about it this way, Carlin. Think about it this way. All I'm saying is, without going over the top, Baker Mayfield isn't the answer, not just for the Jets, for a lot of teams. He's not the answer for a lot of teams. Unless that team is locked and cocked on offense and defense and has reached the playoffs or the championship multiple years and they just need a plug-and-play quarterback, he is not going to lead anyone to the promised land.
All right, so Dave, let's talk about this for a second, okay?
Okay.
Let's bring the temperature down.
Gotcha.
I'll ask you this question. You win 7-8 games this year, right? Okay?
Right.
You're the Jets. You feel like the reason for that is Geno Smith, or do you feel like the reason for that is all of the other younger players that are around him developing nicely and you're starting to get better in every other spot?
I feel right off the bat, I say it's the players supporting him.
Right.
But if Geno Smith happens to throw for more than 4,000 yards this year and limits the interceptions, I got to give him some credit too. And he's shown the ability to do that.
Happily do that. I will happily give him the credit. And what I am hoping, I'm not even hoping for, you know how like when you're judging a competition, you throw out the top score and the worst score. I would throw out last year, and I would throw out the worst or the best year in Seattle, and I would hope to get somewhere in between, which is Geno around 3,800 to 4,000 yards, which is 25, 26 touchdowns, which is 12 picks. If I got that this season, I'd be thrilled. But the general point of it, though, Dave, would be at that point, do I think I want to A, draft a quarterback, B, add Mayfield with those playmakers when he threw 40 touchdowns 2 years ago, or C, stick with Geno?
I have to see this year what Baker does if he's healthy. Because I'm going to give you this much. I'm not just a blowhard who wants to say Baker Mayfield is trash. He played with an assortment of injuries last year, which limited him and
Dave,
made him. He really should have been benched. He really should have been benched.
Well, Dave, you could have started, or you could have really just started the sentence at he played every game. He played every game while he was dealing with that. You know, he played every game. I'm not telling you that Baker Mayfield's going to come in here and be one of the all-time great quarterbacks. What I'm telling you is, if I'm looking at a team that has developed nicely in all of these other places, and I've already paid Garrett Wilson, and the offensive line is good, and I've already paid Breece Hall, I don't necessarily have to go draft the guy to have that cost certainty at quarterback for the next several years. What I should do is go try and get my team and my fans back to the playoffs. And the best way to do that is to get somebody who's better than competent. Is Baker above average? Yes, Baker's above average. Is that heaping too much praise on him? No. Above average is damn good. And I have also heard fans that have, how do I put it? They have basically graded the play of the Jet quarterbacks by the play of the previous Jet quarterbacks. In other words, set the bar at certain levels, and that bar keeps getting lowered and lowered because the play of the quarterbacks has been as bad as it has been for so long. That's not how we can evaluate this. That's not how we should be evaluating it. That's not how winning franchises evaluate it. The phrase, well, it's better than what we had, that's not, I don't hear that a lot from winners. You know? Well, it's better than what we had. That's usually not coming out of the guy who's accepting the Vince Lombardi trophy up on the stage. I got to be honest, Mr. Commissioner. You know? We didn't think we were all that great at quarterback, but he's better than what we had. And here we are, celebrating a championship. I mean, if you're ever going to hear that, you might have heard it last year with Sam Darnold over Geno Smith. That's not what it's about. That's not what it's about at all.
We're settlers, son. We settle for things.
We're happy to settle. My whole life has been settling. Ask my wife. My whole life has been settling. People really settling for me more than anything else. She settled. She's all right, I think. Today, who knows what tomorrow brings? I could tick anybody off at the wrong time. You never know. I've been very comfortable in that role for a long, long time. There's only one area where I didn't. And it's not like it was up to me. She settled on me, and for me, yeah. You're in? Okay, let's go. That was basically it. I got somebody up above me. We're good to go. It's just talking about this is so... It's so draining to talk about just wanting to see serviceable play, just wanting to have a season come Thanksgiving, wanting to have a reason to watch. Because what has our sports fandom become over the last 10 to 15 years? Specifically here, I understand what I'm saying, but I'm saying around the country in general. The NFL has blown up to such a level that we build it up so much just to finally get to September when the season's going to start. And then the season's over that quickly. It's like that Family Guy Mets drop. Opening day, and here's the first pitch, and the season's over. That's what it's been like football-wise. But the problem is we have built it up so much over the last several years, the popularity of the sport, the prominence of the sport, all of it has been built up to such a level that we now have such high expectations, even without trying to have high expectations. Just so excited to have football that we're willing to celebrate the average. And we're willing to put a bar at that level because it's been so long since we even had that. No great teams ever start sentences after celebrating championships with explaining them with the words, well, at least. They don't. They don't. I don't think what we're asking for here is asking for too much. And so for Geno Smith, you might just say that yesterday is a practice and it's August and it's no big deal. All right, guys. There's a reason that there is some importance put on practice by coaches because generally speaking, coaches, and I don't want to speak for all of them, evaluate players by what they see in practice. And that's helps decide who's going to play in games and what they expect to see in games. Yeah. 800-919-3776, 800-919-ESPN. There's a guy with pizza in the trunk of his car. He's selling pizza out of the trunk of his car in New York City. Is this true? It's not even like a truck.
It's a smart car.
It's smart enough to have an oven?
It's a tiny little one. He uses an electric pizza oven, and he sells them right out of the back.
Electric pizza oven?
Yeah, what's wrong with that? Pizza's pizza.
Like, you ever lived in an apartment or a place where if you had a grill, it had to be an electric grill for outside? Like, when I was, I don't know, when I was in college, my mom moved into a condo. And we had a grill, but it had to be like an electric grill, a plug-in. I could tell the difference. Do you think the electric pizza oven? I don't know. Am I nitpicking this too much? How good could that be? I don't
think you're buying it out of the back of a car thinking you're getting a brick oven.
So but when I go to a convenience store and I see pizza, what you're saying to me is I know what I'm getting, which I do. I know what I'm getting. In this case, you're making that point. I know what I'm getting here.
Yeah, as long as he's using some decent ingredients, he's not mass producing.
Yeah, if it's a fresh pizza, that's all that matters. You're not going to get John's at Bleecker Street, but you're also not going to get DiGiorno as well.
Well, I think we know the answer or what we have to do about this, don't we?
Tell them to park by our studios?
Yeah, I think we've got a little corner table situation that we need to come
Might
together
be a
with.
corner spot.
Yeah, exactly. Unless they're going to make me pay for his parking. You're right, man. That is a tiny little car that he's got. Pizza Pod NYC. I'm giving him some free advertising. Maybe, listen, we could hit it with the corner table, but that is a small pizza oven, man. Like I've seen people bring pizza ovens on a trailer to events, and park them there, and that works. But those are good-sized pizza ovens where you could put 4 and 5 smaller pies in there, and it looks like a pizza oven. It's not electric. I don't know. When I'm thinking about my pizza, I'm not thinking about the environment. You know what I mean? I don't care about the environment. Don't give me an EV and tell me that's going to give me good pizza. Carlin, ESPN.
Good Karma Brands is proud to be an equal opportunity employer, providing equal employment, development, and advancement opportunities to all teammates and applicants. To learn more about careers with us, please send an email to talentacquisition@goodkarmabrands.com. That's talentacquisition@goodkarmabrands.com.
Long Island is more exciting than ever at Jake's 58 Casino Hotel. This August, don't miss the Big 5 spin-off and your chance to win your share of $55,550. Be here on Friday, August 7th and 28th from 3 to 7 p.m. when one lucky winner will be drawn every hour to select 4 balls from the lottery drum to win up to $5,555 cash. Don't miss the Big 5 spin-off where Long Island wins at Jake's 58 Casino Hotel.
If gambling is a problem for you or someone you care about, please call the 24-hour toll-free helpline at 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY.
Mornings with DiPietro and Rothenberg.
Buster only joins us. Who is a team in the American League right now that should scare Yankees fans a little bit?
All of them. There's so much parity in the American League, it's kind of crazy. So if you told me that the Yankees reached the World Series, I wouldn't be shocked. And if you told me they got knocked out in the first round, that wouldn't shock me either. I don't think they have any idea what they're going to get out of Judge and Stan the rest of the year. Like none.
DiPietro and Rothenberg, morning 6 to 10 on ESPN New York and streaming live on YouTube.
Miller time. People think it just happens, but that's not true. You know what you gotta do? You gotta go say hello with some beers. Make the plans. Forget the couch. Go to that thing. Play the game. See them in person. Talk to that stranger. Live a little. Small acts of rebellion that bring us together. Because legendary moments start with a light. It's Miller time. Celebrate responsibly. 2026 Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
If you've been injured in an accident that wasn't your fault, then you need a lawyer who knows New York's unique personal injury and workers' compensation laws. At the Parisman Firm, they have decades of experience handling all types of accident cases and a proven track record of delivering huge results. Their team has already recovered nearly $1 billion for injured New Yorkers. From construction to car accidents and slips and falls, they've got you covered. Call the Parisman Firm now at 718-WORKERS, where your case is their cause. Get the justice you deserve today.
I'm David Ortiz. When I lost my mom, she was only 46. And I lost my dad to cancer. It was the worst pain I ever felt. It made me think, what will happen with the people I love when my time is up? That's why I have life insurance. Ethos makes it easy. It's all online, take about 10 minutes, and you can get up to $3 million in coverage.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/game. That's ethos.com/game. Paid testimonial. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
In sports, the tape never tells the whole story. Hiring is no different. AI can make candidates look like an MVP on paper. So knowing the person and the skills behind the resume matters. That's where Robert Half changes the game. Our recruiters combine their expertise with award-winning AI to evaluate skills and fit quickly. Learn how we can find you specialized talent in finance, accounting, technology, and more. At Robert Half, we know talent. Visit roberthalf.com/talent today.
ESPN New York, now streaming live on YouTube. Subscribe today and watch the show. WHSQ and WCBS-FM HD2, New York.
All right, just to close the pizza pod loop there for a second. Apparently, he does a lot of catering and occasionally parks somewhere. And on Wednesdays, he parks up in Hell's Kitchen from 12 to 7. So, you know, I'm not going up to Hell's Kitchen today. I'm skeptical of this whole thing. Carlin, ESPN New York, and on the ESPN New York YouTube channel at 800-919-3776. What a nice little change of pace last night. To have the Yankees actually win because of somebody like Ryan McMahon and because of Trent Grisham. What a little change of pace that was. It's nice, and it was a good win, don't get me wrong. I felt terrible when Weathers gave up that home run. I'm like, God, is this dude going to lose this game 1-0? Let's give him, I know the streak ended, but the Yankee pitching as a whole, even the first couple of guys in that rotation, Will Warren's done a solid job. This has been a solid job from Weathers in that trade. I will give Cashman credit for that trade for Weathers. And when they are talking about, as they did on the TBS broadcast last night, and I want to make clear, there was one reason I was watching the TBS broadcast, and that's because our friends at the Gotham Sports app were at it again. Could not get it to happen. Could not open up that broadcast. Thanks a lot, fellas. Glad that's going away. Anyway, on the TBS Sports or on the TBS broadcast, Boone had told them Brian Anderson and Jeff Francoeur were doing the game, and Boone had told them before the game. They asked like who goes to the bullpen between those two, and he said probably both. Well, it does incredibly strengthen what they're going to have down the stretch of the season, most especially in the postseason. They would be fantastic additions. Hopefully they can adjust to it well and would not have any issues with it if things are not going well for whoever's starting on a particular night. Man, it just, all of that just makes you feel great. But then it's McMahon slashing one through the left side, and it's a little dunker into right center. That's all it is. And it ends up making the difference. And 4 runs feels like a complete embarrassment of riches. A-Rod on with Michael yesterday. Interesting comments regarding Aaron Judge and his return to the Yankee lineup and what it looks like eventually.
No matter who's pitching, they're going to pitch around Judge. So if you're a left-handed pitcher, that's one thing. But if you're a right-handed pitcher that's dancing around Judge, then you're going to go into the belly of the lineup, which is going to be a bunch of, good hitting left-handed hitters. And the other part is Judge is always on base. Everything goes around Judge. And that's why I thought Arias could have been a really nice addition because, You put Lombard at short. You have Reyes, a contact hitting guy who's much better improved at second. Gives yourself a chance to win. And the bigger question is, Mike, was why not go all in now or in the next year or two? Because Judge is going to be 35 opening day next year, and you do not want one of the greatest players in our generation. You want him to have more than one crack at it versus one World Series he had a couple years ago.
Listen, I don't think he was wrong about Luis Ariz. Chisholm, hey, what do you know? Another night, another Jazz Chisholm pickoff. We're in a rundown between first and second. Rolled his ankle later on. I can't watch him. He's one of the worst base runners I've seen in my entire life. And it feels like it's always because he's putting on that damn glove, that oven mitt thing that they wear, which just, I don't, the last time, was there a rash of hand injuries like that I missed over 50 years of baseball that we needed to start wearing oven mitts on the base paths to protect our hands? Because I'm normally this guy, like I'll tell anybody to wear a Guardian cap, but you think it might make you look like the great Gazoo as a football player. I'm not wearing an oven mitt. I'm sorry. It's just not happening. I'm not going to look that stupid. It's not going to. David Wright had that giant helmet for a little while after he got beamed in the head and even said, I can't do this. Even I can't sell this. So the oven mitt thing is just dumb. But the point being, Chisholm gets picked off. A-Rod wanted to rise, and I don't have any problem with that thought process. There was not anybody else when we talk about going all in on offensively that there was really somebody to go and get. He's not wrong about Judge. He's not wrong about going all in to back him up. And he's not wrong about trying to add someone else because it's unfair to expect him to just carry the load completely. It's completely unfair because teams are going to pitch around him. And this was the point. So they're around 500 since he went out. They're around 500 because of the pitching that they've had. Let's just talk about how fortunate they have been in finally going out and getting the kind of pitching that they needed. I will give Cashman credit for that because for years we have yelled at him for not having nearly enough starting pitching because in baseball there was the thought process that starters, you can start to devalue them. When you go to the analytics, turns out, we could just pitch a new guy every 2 innings and we'd get the same kind of return on investment, so to speak. We'd get the same kind of, results, which you would not. And the Yankees have gone out and done that, whether it was Cole, whether it was Fried, Rodon, whatever they have had to do to go out and add pitching, they have done that, and that has helped immensely. And frankly, it's the reason that they are where they are, leading the wild card as they do. But when it comes to Judge and what he means, I cannot get over the fact that the other money that they have spent offensively has not worked out. Bellinger thing with the injury has barely worked out. A good first month and a half and a good last week and a half before he got hurt. But in between, everything has not been very good, other than the All-Star game. Wells has not been anywhere near the offensive player that you expected him to be. Not that he was going to be lights out, but he certainly wasn't going to be this bad. Jazz Chisholm has been just bad, and I don't want to hear about, well, what if he ends up at, a 20-30 season? Good for him. Was he in any way a difference maker for the Yankees this season? No. Did he in any way help stem the tide for when Judge came back? No, not in any way. All of these are things that have not worked out. And I thought this interesting yesterday. So we tie it into the news of the day yesterday when the Yankees made a deal with Apollo Capital, private equity, and took on $2.6 million of a infusion, so to speak. Whether that's cash credit, and there's equity in the team involved in that. Now, the most that they are allowed to sell to a private equity firm, according to Major League Baseball rules, is 15%. Now, if you did that, now I got to do a little math, which is problematic, but 15%, $2.6 billion. The Yankees are worth somewhere around what? $13 billion? Something like that. That's about the ballpark of what that sounds like. And if you look today, the Lakers just sold to a group that included Bob Iger, our former boss here at ESPN and Disney, for $12 billion. Josh Kushner and Bob Iger, $12.5 billion for the Lakers. So you might look at it and say, well, the Yankees just got $2.6 billion, and that must mean that they're going to go out and spend more money next year. Hey, all right, we got something to work with. No. That's not at all what any fan should be expecting, that the Yankees are all of a sudden going to be spending like the Dodgers and going above and beyond. No. A private equity firm with the very little that I know about finance, they are there to make money in every way possible. And so when something like that happens, when they invest in something, one of the things they look for is cost certainty. What are my costs going to be to operate this business? Well, what are owners across baseball trying to get right now? That very thing, cost certainty. They are trying to set what they spend on players at a certain level, and that's it. Thus, the salary cap, right? If a private equity firm is willing to invest that much into the Yankees right now, they must feel very confident that there is going to be cost certainty beyond us. In other words, they must feel very confident that there is going to be a salary cap. The first thing that usually happens with private equity when they come in to take over a business, as many of us across all businesses these days know, is they start cutting. And they start slashing jobs, and they start slashing costs. And yes, they are going to look for how to improve revenue, but they're going to try to improve revenue by cutting back on costs as much as possible while still making the same revenue. That, to me, looks more like what we're talking about. Doesn't mean the Yankees are going to stop spending money. What it means is the Yankees are going to be spending money at the absolute maximum level allowed by baseball, and they feel very confident that there's going to be some sort of a max number allowed by baseball. So let's just say the salary cap ended up at $250 million or $300 million, and that's the most that they could spend. Okay, they know that's the most that we can spend. Why do you think so many private equity places try to get involved in the NFL? Not only is there cost certainty, obviously there's incredible growth in that business, but they know what their expenses are going to be year after year. So if you are going into yesterday, hearing that news and thinking, great, the Yankees are going to go out and spend more money. They got some more money. That's not what that was. That's not what that was in the least. That was somebody investing in the Yankees, not just because they're the Yankees, because those private equity places do not care what the name says on the nameplate. They care about what the spreadsheets say. So that's what they'll be looking at first. Javi in Queens is up on ESPN New York. Javier, how goes it?
What's up, big fella?
How you doing?
Thanks for taking the call.
You got it.
I'm great, man. So listen, I was thinking about you the other day before I get into the baseball talk. But I don't know if it was a week or two ago, we were talking about calves and the large man. I saw this, and I want to confirm this for callers. I saw this man. He was so rotund, like his belly, it was incredible. Like the the band around it. But then when I looked down, he was wearing shorts.
Yep.
He had the most beautiful calves I had ever seen in my life.
Yep.
And I'm telling you, he had a woman who was taller than him. I was like, what world am I living in right now? That I just heard this from Carlin, and I just need to confirm this to the world. The bigger the belly, I think the more beautiful the calf. Like,
you know why that is?
He never skips calf day.
Because our every day is calf day. Every day. We are carrying,
Right.
we never skip leg day. That's why
Getting
our
out of bed.
legs look, especially our calves, look spectacular. Absolutely true.
Yeah,
and I'm glad to hear that my fellow rotund individual was doing well for himself.
Yeah, just getting out of bed is that first big workout of the day. It's incredible. But listen, with baseball, before I get into the Yanks, the big dumper, has an MVP ever followed up an MVP season under the Mendoza line? Has this ever happened in the history of baseball? I want to throw that out there for
honestly,
anybody that potentially.
Let me go take a quick look, but I don't know if that's happened under the Mendoza line, but
No way.
The guy that comes to mind right away, and I don't even know if it was the next year. I hate to say it, but the first guy I think of off of winning an MVP and then just completely went in the tank was Cody Bellinger. Cody Bellinger.
Yeah, but he didn't even bat that bad. Yeah, he was bad. Yeah.
Cody Bellinger in 2019, 47 homers, 115 RBIs, won the MVP, okay, and hit 305. The next year, and it wasn't below 200, but he hit 239, 12, and 30. That was in 56 games in the strike-shortened season. Or not strike-shortened, COVID-shortened season. But then the following up, he hit 165 in 2021. 165 in 2021.
All right. That's a pretty good good pull, Carlin. But listen, with the Yanks, I was watching last night. I'm going tomorrow. I've been down on them, but I started to take a really closer look at the standings. And I know it's I'm beating a dead horse. The American League is hot garbage. The race to that third wild card spot is whoever can get to 500 or maybe one game above it, which is really disturbing. Baseball, at least in the AL, is super down. And as down as I am on the Yankees, they kind of have a very easy path towards a World Series if Judge is decently healthy and they just get right. It's kind of funny. I don't think it's their year, but it's kind of an easy path, at least in the AL this year. That hopefully they take some advantage of.
I'm glad you brought that up, Javi, and thanks for the phone call. As always, it's good to hear from you. Is it because we've been talking about that for quite some time, and I'm curious about this. As I look at the current bracket in the playoffs, the Yankees are in the 4 spot, right? Because the top 3 are the 3 division winners. So the Yankees sit right now in the 4-5 matchup with the Red Sox. With that being the case, this division thing is really going to end up bothering us more than we realize. Because you're not going to make it at the moment to the playoffs or through the playoffs. I'm sorry, let me back up. You're not going to make it for the moment to winning the division without beating the Rays, who have the best record in the league, right? We're not catching the Rays at this point. So you can't be the 1 seed. You can't be the 2 seed either. You can't be the 3 seed because the 3 seed is the 3rd division winner. You obviously would want to be the one not just to get the bye, but potentially a bit of a better matchup. What you'd really like to be is the 3 seed. Because Houston, in winning that division, would end up playing against that last wild card team, which is a 500 baseball team at best, which is basically Texas and whoever. It kind of stinks for the Yankees that first round is going to be the Red Sox. That's the way it looks. It's going to go Red Sox, and then it's going to go Rays. And that kind of sucks. But at the same time, I was asking Tom this morning because we spent so much time during the Knicks playoffs, the run-up to the Knicks playoffs, thinking about where they're going to be and who they're going to be matched up against. Is it good for them to be matched up against this team versus that team and all that? When really what it boils down to is to get those matchups in your favor, you're going to have to go and beat whoever's in front of you. Well, the Knicks did get kind of a favorable road. I'm not saying they wouldn't have beaten the Celtics. I think they would have beaten the Celtics. But we can all agree, I'm not saying that the East was easy per se, but I'm saying that the East was easier than maybe we thought it was going to be in the playoffs. I mean, once we got to the finals and the Knicks were rested and ready to go, they got it done, and they were the best team, period. I'm not taking anything away from it. But my point is simply this. Matchups do matter. Matchups do matter. And if the Yankees are playing the Red Sox in the wild card, yeah, you've got to go through them anyway, even if you won the division, eventually at some point. But maybe you don't. Maybe somebody else does the dirty work for you. I'd rather have that be the case. So if the Yankees are going to catch the Rays, they're going to end up being the number 1 seed, which in the weirdest way, other than having the bye, just means that you're playing potentially Boston as your first opponent anyway in the ALDS. Or you end up playing Tampa Bay, who at that point you would have passed, but you still don't exactly love the matchup. Tampa Bay or Boston in the first round would kind of suck. And for the Yankees right now, it's those two in the first 2 rounds. I don't know that I would call it a garbage road when you're talking about the other parts of the league. Like we're talking about the Yankees and Boston and Tampa Bay, right? Well, those are the 3 teams right now that have the best records in the league. That's a bit of a problem. The Yankees right now at 67-52. The Red Sox at 64-55. The Astros win their division. They're going to win it with 85 wins. The White Sox win their division. They're going to win it with 88, 89 wins. The Yankees and Red Sox could both win 90-plus games, and Tampa, the Yankees, and Red Sox all have to play each other, or 2 of those 3 have to play. You get the point. In the first 2 rounds of the postseason, that's going to suck. That's going to suck. That's why I'm a big believer in the reseeding thing. I think no matter what, I get it that they get the bye, but play the lowest seeded team. If 6 actually ended up beating 3, the Yankees should, or whoever the number 1 seed is, should get the chance to play that team. 800-919-3776, 800-919-ESPN. I don't know why I've been having such trouble finding it lately, but I'm going to rely on Ray to come through with the alarm. And as usual, I can rely on Ray.
That was Tom you relied on.
Well, listen, if I give you the credit, take it. Take it and run. Tom be damned. Hello, Richard.
Hi, Chris. Chris, 2 points. Point number 1, long shot. But I'd take 101 on it right now. AL MVP, Pete Alonso. 27, 260, and 77 ribbies. Okay?
Is that what the odds are right now on it?
No, that's me talking. No, those are his
I don't know what the odds are on Pete at the moment.
I'm just saying I'd take 101 right now.
I understand. Richard, I am normally with you on that kind of thing where I want to look for the guy that will give me some good odds and could be sneaky down the stretch. But I also I don't see that happening. But I get why you would think about doing it.
Okay. Point number 2. Chris, it's sort of a
Alvarez,
quiz.
by the way, right now is minus 900. I mean, the dude's going to win the Triple Crown, but okay.
All right. This is how my computer inside the 2 ears thinks. All right. That's the only computer I use, so it's one in between the 2 ears.
Understood.
All right. Point number 2. It's a sort of a quiz. I don't think you'll get it. The last 7 New York Yankee championships. Oh, and I'll prove the point by what I'm saying now. The last 7 New York Yankee championships, the 2, 77 and 78, and then, of course, 96, 98, 99, 2000, and 2009.
Mm-hmm.
So you got 7 championships.
Mm-hmm.
There's only one common thread amongst those 7 championships in the starting lineup, excluding positions. So the 9 position players, 8 position players in the DH, 9 players in each of those teams has a commonality. Say it again. Yeah, a commonality that connects all 7 together. And what the point is, I'll prove it after.
Yeah,
this.
I have no idea what the commonality
All right.
is.
The one common thread on all 7 teams, each had a starting lineup with only one Hall of Famer. 77 and 78, Reggie, of course, and the other 5, Derek. That was it. One Hall of Famer in each of those 7 starting lineups. What does this prove? So you deduce, right? When you do an SAT question, they ask you, and then what's your deduction from it? My deduction is pitching is 85 to 90% of baseball. That's what it shows. And from the last time I looked, the Yankees are set up pretty well pitching-wise. So let's not go and question all these moves and this and that. You got to go with what's happened. What's happened? Don't try to make the new rules. It's been done before with lineups. You're going to say they were great players: Craig Nettles, Thurman Munson, Chambliss, Paul O'Neill.
I get the point of it, Richard. I understand what you're saying. Yes, the Yankees and many teams have traditionally won championships primarily with great pitching, and we have always said that pitching is primary to winning championships. Yes, one Hall of Famer. I don't want to downplay how good of players those other guys were. Like Bernie Williams may not be a Hall of Famer. Bernie Williams was a terrific player. Paul O'Neill was a terrific player. Posada in his prime was a terrific player. Let's not downplay that. But I get your point. So on a scale of 1 to Richard, of what is an actual valid point to make versus Richard off the cliff, like he had a very low score on those 2 points.
Does Wade Boggs not count, by the way?
96. But was Wade Boggs the Hall of Fame player, Wade Boggs, at that point? You know what I mean? Wade Boggs must have hit 300 that year for sure. But, okay. Leave it to you to go.
The guy is ridiculous. Everything
know,
he comes up with is just terrible.
Got to go find that one hole in Richardson.
How many of the starting pitchers were in the Hall of Fame?
No, that's true.
CC and...
Listen, that's the first thing I was thinking about. Wait a minute. I forgot about one commonality between the 5 championships. Mariano Rivera might be a commonality between 5 of those 7 championships. And Goose Gossage. Anyway, 800-919-3776. Coming up, we have some sideline to sideline. I don't know what Tom has got in store for us, but you can bet he's going to do his best.
There you were, surrounded by fans. Everybody remembers the game. Nobody remembers the guy coughing behind you. Till a few days later, at 2 a.m., you wake up with a fever and your throat's on fire. Now what? Urgent care? Closed. ER? Slammed. Telehealth? Maybe, but the pharmacy's closed. You needed a medical emergency kit. These aren't first aid kits. They contain essential prescriptions used for over 30 common conditions. Sinus and ear infection, UTIs, stomach bugs, traveler's diarrhea, and more on hand before you need them. Use your doctor-developed guidebook to select the right prescription or call their telemedicine doctor standing by. It's like an urgent care and drugstore at home. When you're sick, traveling, or stranded, you'll wish you'd ordered a medical emergency kit. Order online in minutes and it's shipped to your door. And save $45 with my promo code 880 at urgentcarekit.com/880. That's promo code 880 at urgentcarekit.com/880.
One 877 Cards for Kids. KARS Cards for Kids. 1-877 Cards for Kids. Donate your card today.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 877 Cars for Kids to speak to a friendly live agent. Donation is super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Go to carsforkids.org now or call 877 Cars for Kids to donate your car today.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids.
Did you know you can donate real estate too? Go to carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K.
When you manage an active facility, disruption is not an option. Tricon Construction specializes in healthcare, commercial, and industrial environments where work needs to happen without shutting operations down. That takes detailed planning, clear communication, and safe, disciplined execution. Because when patients are inside, tenants are working, or production has to keep moving, every decision matters. Tricon understands how to work around your business professionally, safely, and efficiently. For complex work inside active facilities, choose Tricon Construction. Visit triconbuilds.com. That's triconbuilds.com.
You're in charge of ordering boxes. Small boxes, really big boxes. You're in charge of tape, labels, mailers, bubble wrap, extra bubble wrap. Just for fun. You're in charge of warehouse cleaning and safety supplies. Good thing there's Uline. Thousands of quality products for your business and warehouse needs, always in stock, ready to ship same day, and backed by Uline's legendary 24/7 customer service. Uline makes it easy because you already do enough. Uline. We warehouse for you.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/play. That's ethos.com/play. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Kenny here to tell you about the Fruity Rainbow 5-Hour Energy Shots. It's a fruity candy flavor explosion. A zero sugar treat that's Sweet Tooth approved. These can take care of my candy cravings and provides a tasty caffeine kick without all the sugar. Get candy flavored chaos with Fruity Rainbow 5-Hour Energy Shots. Available online at 5hourenergy.com or Amazon.
This is the Michael K. Show.
Talking with Alex Rodriguez, what you've seen of Lombard, what do you think?
It's amazing when you have a plus defender at short, how it makes your entire team better defensively. Lombard can do for the Yankees defensively and for those great pitchers what Aaron Judge does for the offense. That's how good Lombard can be.
The Michael K. Show, weekdays at 1 on ESPN New York and streaming live on YouTube. Presented by the Parisman Firm.
Noon today, Jomboy is going to join us. Looking forward to talking to Jimmy O'Brien. I've never talked to him before. We'll talk all things Yankees. 800-919-3776. 800-919-ESPN. It is Carlin with you, and it is Tom Bauer who has got a little sideline to sideline.
It's going to happen. This is Sideline to Sideline.
Go, go, go. Yeah, if the camera, for whatever reason, does look wrong at any point during the segment, because I'm adjusting it, we just had another camera issue where I tried to adjust my camera, and it just flew up to the ceiling. So that
instead
was
of
nice.
looking at the two of you, it's looking at Ray's crotch? Is that what you're telling me?
No. It almost did for a second there, but luckily we were able to make a last-minute adjustment.
A little extra cash, you know? OnlyFans situation.
Yeah, there you go.
Anyway.
So, at any rate, I want to talk a little bit about the Jets here on Sideline to Sideline to start, because...
Please do.
went in about how Geno Smith didn't look so good at camp yesterday, but there was one player who everybody I can see from the media that is able to watch the practice, whoever wow, there I go, stumbling again. Everybody who was able to watch practice yesterday for the Jets.
So many of them we're not going to be able to pick.
Yeah, I know. David Bailey. Well, listen. Yeah. Yeah, I shoot myself in the foot. It's okay. David Bailey has drawn rave reviews from all of Jets camp throughout the entirety of training camp and the joint practices. DeMario Davis had a lot of glowing things to say about David Bailey.
When you draft players, I've been around a ton of rookies, 7 to 10 every year for 15 years. I've seen some who were projected high, not play up to that level. I've seen some who were projected low and played above that level. He looks like a number 2 pick. He looks like everything that's been advertised or more about him. I think his instincts, not only rushing the quarterback, but just getting to the football in general, the way that he plays the run with savviness, and I think he already has a lot of elements of a pro. He's mature for his age. I don't know if that has to do with how he was raised or his path and his journey, but he's been phenomenal to work with and alongside, and I think he's going to help our football team exponentially, and we need it. And so I'm excited to see how he plays this year and beyond.
I'll tell you, that's a lot from DeMario Davis right there for a rookie. Even it's his number 2 overall pick. It's not that they don't throw out compliments and they don't talk about how good players can be, but DeMario Davis's words carry some weight for me there. It doesn't have me all of a sudden dreaming of a 12-sack rookie season, but it has me excited that if somebody like him has that kind of high praise right away for what the guy looks like, I think if he didn't look like that, if he didn't genuinely think that the kid had a chance to be special, he's not going to be attaching his name to him like that. And he did go out of his... that is really high praise right there.
And I want to give DeMario Davis probably credit, too. We might not see it necessarily, but the signing of him, extremely important because you got that veteran presence there to teach David Bailey this is how you win in the NFL.
I would really love, and that's a big regret, and I could put the request in a couple of times. Love to get DeMario Davis on the show. Would love to get DeMario Davis on. Because that's a guy that's obviously had a really good career, but understands what he's walking into here perhaps better than anybody. Anyway, next.
At any rate.
Little tip for you there.
Yeah, I'll get right on it. So the Vikings...
I didn't ask for the president. I asked for DeMario Davis.
And as I said, I will get right on it.
Okay.
I'm going to keep my response generic as possible.
Yeah, that's right.
Anyway,
always be pleasant, never be responsive.
There you go. Let's head out to Vikings camp for a second because the Vikings have named we got into this a little bit yesterday, but the Vikings have named a starting quarterback already. And that is going to be Kyler Murray taking over the reins from one J.J. McCarthy after one incomplete season from J.J. McCarthy leading the Minnesota Vikings. Kevin O'Connell, takeaways from Kyler Murray in training camp.
There's moments in time where there's comfort from Kyler in the scheme. He had some really high completion days. He was able to show some really, really good understanding of just putting the ball in play, playing with great timing, rhythm. As you continue to look at the body of work through those 10 days, what jumped out is what could be.
Is there any chance, I just want to ask this before you give your take, any chance we could see J.J. McCarthy maybe on the move, or are the Vikings actually going to still believe that there is some sort of future with J.J. McCarthy there?
Well, number one, given Kyler Murray's injury history, do you want to do that? Do you want to move J.J. McCarthy right away? I don't know that I would do that. I mean, Kyler Murray has not been 100% healthy in his career. Number two, it's quick to give up on a guy that you drafted 12th overall. It's quick. It's what, 2 years? Basically less than 2 years. He was the 24 draft or the 25 draft? He was 25, wasn't he? Wasn't he last year? Anyway, I hesitate to say that they should trade him right now. One thing I would say about Kyler Murray, though, is like when he has been available, I don't think he gets the credit for the kind of player that he's been. I think he's pretty good. Like another guy that if you have him in the right spot, I think you can win with. And obviously the whole contract situation, the Cardinals took the hit on that this year. And you're not going to be paying him $50 million a year. Now, I'm not talking about the Jets per se, because the biggest difference for me between Kyler Murray and Baker Mayfield, and I think Mayfield's better, is also availability, is that Mayfield has started every game despite the fact that he's been banged up. Dude's going to play. You know that. Murray in Minnesota, don't be surprised if he plays better than people expect. Don't be surprised. That whole division, it's going to beat up one another, but I think Kyler Murray's better than people give him credit for. Next.
For the record, did a little research. McCarthy in the 2024 draft.
2024 draft.
Along with Caleb Williams.
This is year 3.
This is year 3, technically, although he missed his first year due to injury.
Because of the injury.
Yes. Okay. So now we go from one starting quarterback situation to another, and we don't have to go very far away from Minnesota because we're going over to Cleveland, Ohio, home of the Browns, and Todd Monken, who was asked if he's named a starting quarterback yet.
I have not. They're each going to start a game. How do I want it that way? Does that make sense? Like, it's not that simple. They're each going to start a game. We're still going to go through this week, and next week we're going to have to decide when we practice against the Bills, because then you're not going to just give one practice. You're not going to give one of the quarterbacks the ones. You're going to have to rotate those guys a little bit in the preseason practice, and then after those 2 games, then I think we'll be closer to at least having a better idea. But one's going to start one game, and the other one's going to start the other.
Did you also hear his response? I don't have it unfortunately in front of me the other day. Where, like, I guess one of the reporters, quote-unquote, tried to trap him into an answer between Shedeur Sanders and Deshaun Watson. He pretty much told him, tough you-know-what.
I thought that's what you were going to play there, because I assumed that we had a beep. It was basically Todd Monken saying, you're not going to trap me with any of that blank. Yeah. So, listen. As Tom would say, listen. I don't really think that whoever the quarterback is for the Cleveland Browns this season, it is changing their fortunes. In other words, they're not going to be good anyway, and they're going to be talking about drafting a quarterback next year anyway. So whether it's Sanders or whether it's Deshaun Watson, neither one of them is very good. So play whoever you want. You want a tank? Play whoever's worse in practice. That's the best way to do it. Next.
2 more stories about fortunes here, and this involves making money for one player. That's going to be Quinnen Williams, the former Jet. 3-year, $105.9 million deal extension with the Dallas Cowboys. That's an average annual salary of $35.3 million per year, the second highest among defensive tackles. Good for Quinnen Williams, who is making an impact there in Dallas. And then real quickly, before you can comment about whatever the hell you want, the Dallas Cowboys top Sportico's NFL valuations in terms of franchise value. They once again top it at $15.5 billion now. Keep in mind the Lakers just sold for $12.2 billion, or around the $12 billion range. So just imagine what the hell an NFL franchise like the Cowboys would sell for. Rams not far behind them at $12.7 billion. Giants, number 3, 12.02. Jets, somehow in 5th. Probably has to do with location. That's at $10.35 billion. That probably means absolutely nothing, but I'm just still in shock that the Giants, that the Jets could be valued that high.
Again, it's an NFL franchise in New York City. That's what that is. And it's also, like, they jointly own the stadium, do they not? I believe so.
That's my understanding.
That's also part of it. And the Rams are as high as they are because they own that. They own SoFi.
That's right.
That's the big issue there. Because the Rams so often play road games at home. Usually so many fans take over that place that they have had times where they've actually had to be dealing with their own noise problems because they can't hear themselves on offense because of the other team. Like when San Francisco comes in, tons of Niners fans come in there. Anyway, I would say the valuation for the Cowboys at 15.5. Is it surprising? Again, he owns the stadium. I would say no. It's not that surprising at this point. Lakers going for 12.5. An NBA franchise going for 12.5, a little bit surprising. And it would obviously be the Lakers and the Knicks that would go for that number. And the Lakers did today. You know, it is just getting out of hand what we're dealing with here financially. And how these valuations are coming about. And I do have to wonder in some of the sports, not in the NFL, not even necessarily in the NBA, but in baseball and certainly in hockey, how can you ever justify? I mean, even with the Yankees generate so much revenue. Unless it's the Dodgers, I don't know how you end up justifying spending 10, 11, 12, 13 billion on a team. All you're counting on is the fake money of the future. That's really it, what you can sell it for in 20 years. It's Carlin, ESPN New York.
When care matters most, experience matters more. The Allure Group is redefining rehabilitation and long-term care across New York with 6 convenient locations. Their expert clinicians create personalized care plans to help you recover, rebuild, and get back to what matters most. From short-term rehab to long-term care, Allure is committed to comfort, dignity, and results. To learn more, visit allurecare.com. The Allure Group, where care meets compassion.
There are a million reasons to love New York. Making your budget stretch isn't one of them. According to an independent study, Amazon prices average 14% lower than other retailers. Get food, fashion, furniture, and more shipped straight to your building. Plus, another study found Amazon Prescription Pass customers pay nearly 1/3 less out of pocket. Learn more at aboutamazon.com.
Hey, New York and New Jersey, Boost Mobile has an unlimited talk, text, and data plan that's only $25 a month forever, meaning you'll only ever pay $25 a month for the rest of your life. Who wouldn't want unlimited wireless when it only costs $25 a month forever? If you don't, you must be one of those people who enjoy overpaying for their phone plan. $25 a month forever is truly as good as it gets. So go online and switch now at boostmobile.com. After 30 gigabytes, customers may experience slower speeds. Customers will pay $25 a month as long as they remain active on the Boost Mobile Unlimited plan.
Mornings with DiPietro and Rothenberg.
Buster only joins us. Who is a team in the American League right now that should scare Yankees fans a little bit?
All of them. There's so much parity in the American League, it's kind of crazy. So if you told me that the Yankees reached the World Series, I wouldn't be shocked. And if you told me they got knocked out in the first round, that wouldn't shock me either. I don't think they have any idea what they're going to get out of Judge and Stan the rest of the year. Like none.
DiPietro and Rothenberg, morning 6 to 10 on ESPN New York and streaming live on YouTube.
At City Harvest, we believe no New Yorker has to go hungry. With your help, we're on the road 365 days a year, rescuing over 77 million pounds of nutritious food and delivering it free to millions of New Yorkers, transforming surplus food into sustenance, sustainability, and smiles, rallying thousands of New Yorkers to power a network of nourishment across our city. One day, one meal, and one New Yorker at a time. That's how we feed good. Donate at cityharvest.org.
Hi, this is Don LaGreca. Just like the New Jersey Devils bring intensity on the ice, Viking Pest Control brings the same level of protection to your home. And I know because I use Viking at my own place. The season may be over, but pests are always in play. So it's time to lock in your off-season defense. As the pest control provider and proud partner of the Devils, Viking delivers 45 years of trusted experience to keep ants, cockroaches, stinging insects, rodents, mosquitoes, and more out of your zone. And when you bundle pest control mosquito services, you score big savings. One call, one company, total peace of mind. Visit VikingPest.com. Protecting your home inside and out.
That's the ease at which you get information. You want it, you get it. Like that. Ask your phone. Group chat. Smartphone. You're always connected and informed in real time. No waiting. So if you're diabetic and still using finger sticks to read your blood sugar, what are you waiting for? Knowing your blood sugar levels instantly is important for managing diabetes. Call US Med at 888-665-0696. To learn more about continuous glucose monitors, a real-time instant method to track your blood glucose, US Med is an approved provider for Medicare and over 1,000 private insurers. And the best part? Call 888-665-0696 and we'll give you a free insurance benefits check today. So call 888-665-0696 today. That's 888-665-0696 and manage your diabetes as easy as...
Congratulations, New York. The Knicks did it. Through battle after battle, they dominated to become this year's NBA champions. Day in and day out, the hard work paid off, and you were there every step of the way. Enjoy the crown. Own it, because this year is your year. A part of your legacy that will never be forgotten. So celebrate this moment, show your pride, and shop the largest selection of official NBA gear at NBAstore.com. A Fanatics experience.
Giants' first depth chart of the season is out. As I'm looking for anything newsworthy, I wouldn't say big newsworthy at the moment. I would say that Maui Noah is listed as a starter at right guard. We kind of knew that. Malachi Fields and Odell Beckham are both listed as third-string receivers behind Calvin Austin, Darnell Mooney, and Jalen Hyatt. Jalen Hyatt in front of Beckham. Like, it's going to be an uphill battle for Beckham to make the team when you're talking about one of the last receiver positions and you have to be able to play some special teams. And that's not what Becker does. And you got a guy like Braxton Berrios around there that could help his cause. Anything else of note? Scattaboo or Tyrone Tracy are listed as the starter at running back. Arvell Reese is listed as the starter at weak side linebacker next to Tremaine Edmonds, and Abdul Carter or Kayvon Thibodeau listed as the starter at strong side linebacker. So that's basically about it. Do I notice anything else that's terribly crazy? Probably not. Probably not. I mean, unless Darius Slayton starting has you raising your eyebrow, which it kind of would. 800-919-3776. Speaking of the Giants and what the expectations are this year, it has been borderline crazy what some of the expectations have been. And we had Kevin Clark on yesterday from the This Is Football podcast and Omaha Productions. And Kevin had the following to say about John Harbaugh taking over here with the Giants.
Abdul Carter. I think he led the NFL in quick pressures last year. Budding superstar. Brian Burns, we know what he can do. Jackson Dart, we know what he has to do. He has to protect himself better. I saw a lot of plays last year where he made the right read, made the right throw, receivers let him down. And so I still think there's room to grow there, even though he showed a lot there. So there's reason for optimism. But when I say that, I mean 8 wins. I don't mean 10, 11 wins. The way typically to have a huge turnaround is have an offensive miracle worker like Ben Johnson in Chicago last year, or you get really lucky. And we've seen that before, and that's sometimes not sustainable. So I'm not going to freak out if it's 6 wins this year. I think John Harbaugh is going to build something.
Yeah, see, I think that number is closer to 6 than 8, and it's certainly not up at 10. And we all want to be optimistic. We all want to be excited for something to start the season, but I also would caution to be realistic in some instances as well. And I hate people taking the hard fall. Yes, getting to Thanksgiving and being alive and having a reason to watch would be great. I'm not expecting to get to the middle of December and have that be the case. Again, the number 8 to me is so very tricky, and it's setting a bit of a high bar when you consider what that second half of the year looks like. And I understand that we can be in a position where some of the teams that the Giants are facing in that second half may not turn out to be nearly as good as we expect them to be based on last year's record. But I'm not expecting any of the following to really fall off altogether. San Francisco, Seattle, Detroit, Dallas, Philadelphia. I don't think they're falling off. Are the Giants going to definitively beat Washington twice? I mean, that feels more like a split. So unless you get to close to Thanksgiving with 6 wins, I don't know how you really have a chance at 8. Because after Thanksgiving, out of those 6 games that are left, I don't know how you're winning 2 of them. I really don't. And you might think I'm nuts. Please tell me if I am at 800-919-3776. But by all means, as you chime in on the ESPN New York YouTube chat as well, I understand that this is not going to be a quick process. This is not going to be something where you're going to have John Harbaugh Coach of the Year type discussions. It's not going to be a Brian Daboll walk in the door, we're going to the playoffs, and we just kind of luckily turned out to be better than we actually are and caught some breaks and won some one-score games. I don't see any of that. Jomboy joins us next on ESPN New York.
There you were, surrounded by fans. Everybody remembers the game. Nobody remembers the guy coughing behind you. Till a few days later, at 2 a.m., you wake up with a fever and your throat's on fire. Now what? Urgent care? Closed. ER? Slammed. Telehealth? Maybe, but the pharmacy's closed. You needed a medical emergency kit. These aren't first aid kits. They contain essential prescriptions used for over 30 common conditions. Sinus and ear infection, UTIs, stomach bugs, traveler's diarrhea, and more on hand before you need them. Use your doctor-developed guidebook to select the right prescription or call their telemedicine doctor standing by. It's like an urgent care and drugstore at home. When you're sick, traveling, or stranded, you'll wish you'd ordered a medical emergency kit. Order online in minutes and it's shipped to your door. And save $45 with my promo code 880 at urgentcarekit.com/880. That's promo code 880 at urgentcarekit.com/880.
Whoever said fork in the road must have been hungry for the Sorrento and Sorrento Turbo Hybrid. Their 3-row seating and 10-year, 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty. With a capable Sorrento and Sorrento Turbo Hybrid, every way forward is the right way. Visit your local Kia dealer today. Kia, movement that inspires.
Call 800-333-4KIA for details. Drive safely. See retailer for warranty details.
This is Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg.
I'm telling you right now, I'm buying stock in 96.
I might be buying a jersey.
This kid, Lombard, is not overhyped. This kid is exactly the goods. And it doesn't mean he's not going to have a bad game every now and then. There's a way people move and act and talk that tell you, oh yeah, it's in him. Now it's a matter of sit back and let's watch it happen.
Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg. Weekdays at 3 on ESPN New York. And streaming live on YouTube.
Long Island is more exciting than ever at Jake's 58 Casino Hotel. This August, don't miss the Big 5 spin-off and your chance to win your share of $55,550. Be here on Friday, August 7th and 28th from 3 to 7 p.m. when one lucky winner will be drawn every hour to select 4 balls from the lottery drum to win up to $5,555 cash. Don't miss the Big 5 spin-off where Long Island wins at Jake's 58 Casino Hotel.
If gambling is a problem for you or someone you care about, please call the 24-hour toll-free helpline at 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY.
Are you ready to make a difference for the environment while helping the visually impaired at the same time? Then donate your vehicle to Heritage for the Blind today by calling 1-800-983-6530. Every donated vehicle will either be properly recycled in an eco-friendly manner or given a new life through reuse. Donating your vehicle is easy. Simply call 1-800-983-6530 and Heritage for the Blind will do the rest. They'll even arrange for your vehicle to be picked up at no cost to you. And for a limited time, when you donate your car, you'll receive a $200 restaurant voucher and a 2-night, 3-day hotel stay at one of 50 locations. Call 1-800-983-6530 right now to schedule your vehicle donation and make a positive impact on the environment while helping others. Heritage for the Blind, where every car donation counts and every person makes a difference. Call 1-800-983-6530 now. This advertisement is paid for by Heritage for the Blind.
If you've been injured on a construction site, then you need a lawyer who knows New York's unique labor laws. At the Parisman Firm, they have decades of experience handling construction accident cases and a proven track record of delivering huge results. Their team has already recovered nearly $1 billion for hardworking New Yorkers. From scaffold accidents to slip and falls and equipment failures, they've got your back. Call the Parisman Firm now at 718-WORKERS. That's right, 718-WORKERS, because your case is their cause. Get the justice you deserve today.
ESPN New York is your home for the world champion New York Knicks. WHSQ and WCBS-FM HD2, New York.
The offense has been the talk for the longest time, and not because it has been dynamic. It has been struggling for 45 games. Good to talk to the Yankees with Jimmy O'Brien. Jomboy, what's going on? He joins us right now, and, of course, Jomboy Media. You follow him on Twitter at Jomboy_. All the breakdowns. Have you broken down yet the Blue Jays Red Sox debacle from the other night?
Thank you for having me, and I will be doing that as soon as I get off with you. I have it kind of, we've been working on it all yesterday, all today, lots of archive footage of examples and past examples, and there's some elements that I think people haven't seen yet, so I'm excited to get it out there, but that's a long one. There's a lot to go through, so that'll be coming out today.
Did anybody ever ask you, did you actually take a lip reading course, or did you just zoom in and kind of figure it out on your own? Because it's ridiculous how well you're able to do these breakdowns.
I'd never taken a lip reading course. I can't just I can't see strangers talking and know what they're saying. So the context of the situation and baseball, I think, helps me get there, and then I can figure it out. There are times where I can read it right away. There's sometimes it takes me a long time to be like, what's he saying? I've definitely gotten better after doing it this much, but no, it was never something I even knew I could do, really, until I started making the videos.
Well, they're outstanding, but you know that already, and we appreciate it. It's the first time we're talking. I'm thrilled to have you on. And just from a fan perspective, I just want to know, first and foremost, what you're feeling right now about these Yankees.
I'm feeling a lot of mixed emotions. It's very much a conundrum. The pitching is the best we've ever had as a unit, as a starting pitcher and relievers. Now, I don't know if the bullpen has enough firepower for a postseason run, but as it's been going in the regular season, they've been really a strength and a strong suit of the team. The starting pitching is the deepest the Yankees have ever had. The offense is the worst we've ever seen. I mean, it's 2023 when they lost Judge was bad. This is worse. So that's a two sides of a coin that are just drastically different, but they keep winning. Their winning percentage is pretty good over the last 20 games. And because of that formula, they're winning exciting games. Like last night, they're down and they take the lead in the 7th or 8th inning. That's been what's going on. So those are fun watches. The first 6 innings of a Yankee game right now is brutal to watch. Feeling all different emotions. And then, Lombard coming up, that sparked his defensive play, has sparked a very big, I want to watch this.
Yeah.
So that's been fun. And then, some of the innings where they just don't even put up a fight offensively are brutal. So it's a two-headed monster right now in a bad way.
What do you attribute it to? Because as I watch, I can't figure it out. It's a 45, 46 game stretch where they're averaging 3.3 runs, and yet they're 2 games under 500 there, to your point about how good the pitching's been.
Yeah, I really don't know. I think that, my theory used to be, or my thought would be, that there's guys that sell out for slug and they're going to strike out a lot, like Stanton, like Judge, and the trade-off is worthwhile because they can slug consistently. Every series they can get you a double, a home run, basically every week. They're going to get some balls that land. Then we've got guys like McMahon, like Jazz, like Wells, who have that same approach, that selling out for a slug, which is more, means the K percentage is going to be higher, means there's going to be some at-bats that they don't really battle and buckle down, but they can't get the big results consistently. So you've got a real boom or or bust situation, and it's busting so often that the booms just feel like little, squib fireworks instead of the, grand finale or something high in the sky blowing up. It's just, the trade-off doesn't seem to be there. And I think it's hard, especially with Stanton, Bellinger, and Judge out, because the lineup needs that firepower up top. So now you're kind of, these guys should be asking to be the 6, 7, 8, 9 and move the lineup and be a unit, battle. Well, we don't have a 1 through 5. The other day before the deadline, our 3, 4, 5 was Rosario, Dominguez, Volpe. Dominguez and Volpe got sent down, and they were your 4, 5 or 3, 4, whatever it was. So you're asking guys, I want them to get healthy. Ask these guys to take at bats and say, hey, we don't need you to hit them. We just need you to battle, see pitches, find your pitch and hit it. Instead, they're being asked to do the other thing, which is kind of setting them up for even more failure. I don't even know. I don't know if that fully makes sense or if that's accurate, but that's what I get from watching it.
In some ways, what you just did was like, this is how lost we are on why it is this bad. And it is befuddling in a lot of ways. Jimmy, I have Jimmy O'Brien with us, Jomboy Media. I've never fully gotten your take on Brian Cashman. I haven't heard it, I should say. And listen, where a lot of fans are on this thing. They have been down on him for a very long time. Where do you stand on all of it? Just from a standpoint for me, one thing that was particularly bothersome is that those guys you had told me about in Dominguez and Volpe were the ones that you just sent down for the next one to come up.
Yeah. Let's see. There's a couple things that I try to figure out. Like they really believed in Volpe and Peraza, and they missed out on that shortstop window. Maybe the money wasn't there. I always go back and I think Boone wants the best players. Boone wanted, I'm not scared to say that. I would guess Boone wanted some bullpen help, maybe some catching help. Now, he might believe in Wells, but a manager is going to want the best players. A GM is going to want to go get the best players. And they do spend a ton of money, but there have been years where the mandate has been to get under. Like in 2019, they should have won. I mean, no one was competing in 2019. They had a great team. They didn't do enough at the deadline. Betances got hurt. Herman got suspended. And there goes your staff. There goes your playoff arsenal. And they didn't get anyone to, help out. But that's because they were getting under the tax. So there's so much stuff that goes on that we don't fully know. Cashman's made a bunch of great moves, but the development from in the minors, they had the hitting coach who they graduated to the major leagues. He revolutionized the minor leagues. He's with Boston now, and it just worked for that 30-game stretch. Dylan Lawson. When that stretch of minor league ball, we had all the reports from Yankees minor leaguers coming out and saying, we don't do situational hitting practice at all. I know some minor league players that were playing with the Yankees then, and they were like, no, that's true. Like, we were just doing exit velo and launch angle. And those guys, Wells, Dominguez, Volpe. Now, I'm not knocking those guys because I think there was a big flaw in the way the minors were raising hitters, so to speak, because those three guys, 2 outs, runners in scoring position, those three guys had batting averages and slugging 0.50 or worse this year. So there's been all those reports of this is what's happening in the minors. And then the Yankees chalked it up to, well, that's he's spiteful because he got dropped player. Well, it really materialized itself until we graduated all these guys up here who really don't have a feel for an at-bat or the zone. Now, Lombard, he's come up and it's been completely different. Is that because they revamped the coaching staff in the minor league system? Or is that because, he's a son of a major leaguer and grew up around the game and that old school mentality was with him? But even Spencer Jones has shown us a 2-strike approach. So my hope is the changes they made in the minors helps. They stuck with those players for far too long. And that's where I don't know the reasoning why. I don't know they're strapped on money. They don't want to trade prospects, but in 2022, they were the best team by far in the American League. Their record was unbelievable. There wasn't that many people competing. It was them in Houston. It was like, that's going to be the American League Championship Series. They had giant needs at third base, shortstop, and left field. Hicks, IKF, and Donaldson. They didn't replace any of those. And then you go to the postseason, and they started 3 different shortstops. So the deadlines have been tough because I think Cashman uses it way more to replenish for next year and use it as free agency rather than get what the team needs right now, no matter what. And I'm not saying I know, why or what's correct or not correct, but that seems to be what's happened in my opinion.
But you would not put yourself in the category of fans that, we've had enough of Brian Cashman. It's time to move on.
I think that some teams allow themselves to trade and have a losing season and replenish the farm. And the Yankees have never done that. They love their, we haven't had a losing season in 30 years. Like 2023, they could have traded more pieces away and got some draft picks, but they don't want to break that stretch. They think maybe they think it'll kill ticket sales or just like the reputation. The Red Sox, when they lose, they lose.
Yeah.
They go get themselves some picks. So, but I think that's probably coming from Hal and like the Yankees as an operation, because a GM kind of would love to go replenish and trade and get prospects back and more capital. That's what I would assume. The Yankees aren't allowed to do that. And sometimes when you're bad, you need to be bad so you can get better. They can't. They never. Now they've done really well with their draft picks lately, and they've had some winners. And I'm hoping and just a new farm system. Like they never produced pitchers ever, and Cashman went out and changed the whole pitching coach, brought in Matt Blake, brought in a whole new farm system of pitching, and now they produce a lot of pitching talent. So I just think at the same time that move was made, a move was made in the development of the minor leaguers, and the pitching side worked out great, and the minors league did not. They pivoted already to redo it.
Jimmy O'Brien, Jomboy with us. Of course, Jomboy Media. You follow him, all the podcasts, talking Yanks, talking baseball, do amazing breakdowns on everything. You see them all the time. And I am looking forward to that Red Sox one because it took me about a half hour to even go through it and understood what it was in the beginning. So hopefully you can clear that up a lot more for a lot of us who didn't pick it up right away later today. On the Judge front, how concerned should we be at this point? Because it feels like every time something is kind of needed, Boone comes out the other day and says, "No, he's not that far away," and we don't really know when it's going to be. And then Judge the next day is actually coming out and speaking. He's the first guy I can remember with the Yankees in a really long time that 2 or 3 times when he's been hurt for an extended period has felt the need to come out and speak. And that kind of speaks to me more about what some of the other leadership in that clubhouse might be right now.
Let's see. I think Judge, as captain, that's his role. Like Jeter got the captain position because even before he was official, he stood up in the clubhouse after every game and answered questions, even if he wasn't a player of note in that game. And I think, that comes with the territory. I think Judge has an awareness in him. I don't think he needs to be told that. I also think that sometimes their timelines are so up for debate that it leaves the fans to want to wonder and wander. And then the players like, no. Like there was a report recently that Stanton wasn't close, and some fans took it as like, well, he's like getting worse or like he's not coming back for the season. So Boone came out and was like, no, he is close. Like he is getting better. But what does close mean? Because it's been a month since then. So like
but like when Boone said the other day, like, yeah, it was good to see him outside. I felt like he was talking about my 91-year-old grandmother.
It's very weird. Sometimes the way they talk about injuries are very weird. I don't know. I don't know why. I always remember a story and sometimes you get the truth after the fact, when the statute of limitations is worn off. Like Zach Britton, there was some really weird stuff about his injury towards the end of his season. And then Zach Britton said after retirement or after he re-signed, I forget what it was, but he was like, the way they handled that was, I appreciated it more than any team's ever handled an injury. And, not outing it, not giving any info. So a lot of times, like, they do get rewarded for these weird, obtuse, nothing reports because now the report is the story and not the player. And I think sometimes that's the goal. And that stinks as the public because the goal is just to confuse us and distract us. I think Judge is going to come back. I think, whenever they say baseball activities, there's 3 weeks after that.
Right.
And I'm hoping we get baseball activities soon. He's allowed to start running and moving. We need to hear baseball activities.
Obviously, this is all the biggest factor in what this next question's answer would be. But have your expectations, given what has gone on over the last month and a half, and we have all said that the American League has been weak, have your expectations changed for what the rest of this season should bring?
It's been a roller coaster of expectations. So when they've changed, I'm trying to think from
all right,
when.
well, but put it on the higher end. What were your higher end expectations? World Series appearance, I would assume.
Oh yeah, before Judge got hurt, April, May, and that's the story of Yankees last couple of years. I was like, this is a good team. Yeah. They got guys. They got a bottom of the lineup that can grind. With Caballero, who was doing that at the time. Jazz at that point had changed his bat and was hitting for more average in late May and early June. When Judge went down and he's not going to come back till September, it's like, whoa, they need to go 500 and then have a big September. Cause I don't know if they can be I didn't think they could be wildly above 500 without Judge. And now Bellinger out too. So my hopes right now, because the pitching is so good, the bullpen is so good, but they're an injury away of being exposed, and that's scaring the hell out of me. But the pitching is so good. The bullpen's good. With Lombard now, the defense has looked really sharp in the infield. Garcia's made some plays. I don't know if he's going to be amazing, but he's definitely a plus from Ben Rice out there. What does it look like when they're healthy? And do they get fully healthy? If you're telling me that by postseason I get, Judge and Belly, who have played all September and are in a groove, and Wellesley's more than dead, which he's been the last 30 days, I like that team. If the starting pitching holds up, I like that team. You do need one of these guys, Warren, Weathers, to go to the bullpen and really help out there, because I was a bit dismayed they didn't get any relief help.
Last one, just on you and doing what you're doing in general. I mean, it's obviously a dream come true in a lot of ways. For I think anybody who works in this industry, it's a dream come true. When did you know, when you were doing all of this, that this was going to hit? Was there a particular turning point that you knew, hey, we got something here? Was it one video in particular? Was it anything in particular that you knew we're in good shape?
Well, I started making the breakdowns for all 30 teams and not just Yankees. In 2019, I did a video about umpire Ron Culpa telling Astros manager AJ Hinch, he said, I can do whatever I want. I was like, whoa. I hadn't done just, I was only doing Yankee stuff, not just all baseball. That was the first one I did that didn't involve the Yankees at all. And I posted it, did really well. And then I started posting them on YouTube just to put them on to YouTube, but I had monetization off. An employee at MLB was like, hey, turn that on. Some will get copyright claimed, but some slip through the cracks or they don't, and you'll be able to monetize them via YouTube. And that piece of advice, immediately they started going crazy on YouTube, which then there was money because there's an AdSense attached to that.
Right.
So that summer of 19, it was basically like a montage where I'm just feeding the machine and seeing the numbers rise. I was paying myself $1,000 a month at that point. So then we had real money coming in. I looked at my partner, Jake, and I was like, hey, this is something. And that was the first time where kind of a revenue stream opened up and we were able to pay ourselves actual salary, move to New York, get an office, and start building a team and employees and a company for real. So yeah, it was just that piece of advice saying, hey, don't be scared, turn the monetization on, some will fall through.
That's awesome. Listen, appreciate it, Jimmy. I appreciate you popping on. And listen, the best part about it is that you always go to your ex-accountant. It's, I'm not a journalist. I'm a fan, and that's what people love. Appreciate the time, man.
I appreciate it. Thank you for having me.
Yep, Jimmy O'Brien, Jomboy. Later today, I'll have the breakdown of the Red Sox Blue Jays debacle from the other night with the tag-up situation. I'm looking forward to seeing that. It's Carlin, 800-919-3776 on ESPN New York and on the ESPN New York YouTube channel. Appreciate him popping on, and it is an incredible story. He is, as a fan, and I understand the fan standpoint of being optimistic for what this can be, we're all not the old Jerome in Manhattan from back in the day. We're all not that. But I sit there and I watch this offense, and it's just so frustrating to not be able to see them score any runs as much as you want to believe in what the pitching can do. He makes a good point about how the Yankees handle these injuries. And I should remind myself of this sometimes when they speak as vaguely as they do about them. Because they are so many times protecting the player above all else. And it kind of jogged my memory a little bit when it came to Judge. Now, if you remember Judge a few years back, this is 4 or 5 years ago, there was an ankle thing. And he started to get a little bit annoyed by how the team was kind of classifying him with the ankle and starting to get annoyed at the idea that he was going to get a reputation as an injury-prone player. Now, this is before he had played as many games as he had the last 3 years. But if you go back and look, he had played a pretty good amount of games. It was here and there where he was missing a lot, but it wasn't over the top. It was just, we were all making the assumption about someone with that body. Well, eventually he's got to break down, right? And so Judge, I think at the time, was a little bothered by how much they were talking about his injuries, but they were talking without really talking, if you know what I mean. Like they weren't saying anything in real specifics. Well, oh, dear God, we're not going to see him for 3 months. It wasn't anything like that. It was just that it was the topic that it was, and Judge was getting tired of hearing about that. I know that for a fact, that Judge at the time was so sick and tired of having the injuries for him and the possibility of injuries be the number one story. And he was afraid that that was going to lead to, when it came time for the big payday, that he wouldn't necessarily get to the 9-year, $360 million deal that he did because somebody would be afraid to hand out that kind of money to him. Now, obviously, it worked out with him playing as many games as he had, whatever he's done in taking care of his body the last 3 seasons. This year, with a broken rib, it has sucked, and they are not going to mess with that at all when it comes to the oblique and that kind of an injury. As Jimmy pointed out, whenever it's baseball activities, it's usually 3 weeks after that the guy comes back. So hopefully in the next week or two, you can hear baseball activities and you can think, okay, that means I'm going to hopefully see him in early to mid-September. If you see Judge in early to mid-September and he gets 2.5 weeks before the postseason, I'll feel okay about that. How much time would you need to feel okay about Judge being back and being ready to go? Because if we're talking about the last week of the season, I'm not feeling great. So as I start to put a timeline on it, hopefully that comes at around the mark where I can say, next week, baseball activities start, and then we're 3 weeks from there. Because I would like to see 30 to 40 at-bats, 2.5 weeks worth at least, and that's probably more than 30 to 40, but not, I would like to see at least 30 to 40 at-bats of him back before the playoffs begin. It's just, at this point, like, you're going to have to play the Red Sox in that first round. And having that be the case, I know we all don't like to get caught up in matchups, but they do matter. And it's bothersome right now that even though it's a 2 out of 3 series, having to face them in the first round and then getting Tampa in round 2, like that is not the easy road that you guys are all making this out to be about how the American League sucks. Like, this particular part of the American League doesn't suck, and you're going to have to face them the first 2 rounds, both of them, theoretically. 800-919-3776. Carlin, ESPN New York. Over on the ESPN New York YouTube channel, I have not made many references to it. There was some sort of a Trump-Biden debate in the chat earlier that I wisely abstained from. And then there's been some to talk about, well, let's see here. Primo Sabe checking in on Jomboy. Josh saying, met Jimmy at a pumpkin patch in New Jersey. He was awesome. Well, that's good. That was pretty random. Carlin, ESPN New York.
There are a million reasons to love New York. Making your budget stretch isn't one of them. According to an independent study, Amazon prices average 14% lower than other retailers. Get food, fashion, furniture, and more shipped straight to your building. Plus, another study found Amazon Prescription Pass customers pay nearly 1/3 less out of pocket. Learn more at aboutamazon.com.
Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today. 1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 877-CARS4KIDS to speak to a friendly live agent. Donation is super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Go to cars4kids.org now or call 877-CARS4KIDS to donate your car today.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids.
Did you know you can donate real estate too? Go to carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K.
This is the Michael K. Show.
Talking with Alex Rodriguez, what you've seen of Lombard, what do you think?
It's amazing when you have a plus defender at short, how it makes your entire team better defensively. Lombard can do for the Yankees defensively and for those great pitchers what Aaron Judge does for the offense. That's how good Lombard can be.
The Michael K. Show, weekdays at 1 on ESPN New York and streaming live on YouTube. Presented by the Parisman Firm.
Hey, it's Alan Hahn. At Rings End, they're there to help realize your modern design visions. That's why they partner with Marvin. Engineered for big ideas, Marvin modern windows and doors deliver effortless elegance, expansive views, and industry-leading innovation, all in a modular system designed to meet the exacting principles of modern architecture. Experience Marvin Modern at a Rings End showroom today and create something stunning with them. Rings End is a certified Marvin installing retailer.
Hey, it's Peter Rosenberg. This summer, I made a decision. Instead of just living with my pain, I wanted to find out what was actually causing it. That's why I went to see Dr. Jay Shah at Samwell Pain. What I liked right away was his approach. He takes the time to understand what's going on and builds a treatment plan that's right for you without jumping straight to surgery. If you're dealing with back pain, neck pain, sciatica, or joint pain, it's worth having the conversation. With offices in Woodbridge, Livingston, and Inglewood, getting care is convenient no matter where you are. Go to samwellpain.com to learn more or schedule an appointment.
If you've been injured on a construction site, then you need a lawyer who knows New York's unique labor laws. At the Parisman Firm, they have decades of experience handling construction accident cases and a proven track record of delivering huge results. Their team has already recovered nearly $1 billion for hardworking New Yorkers. From scaffold accidents to slip and falls and equipment failures, they've got your back. Call the Parisman Firm now at 718-WORKERS. That's right, 718-WORKERS, because your case is their cause. Get the justice you deserve today.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. Do you feel like you're losing control of your finances? If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, we can help you take back control. The IRS is the largest and most aggressive collection agency in the world, and they can seize your bank accounts, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Take control of your tax problem now by calling the experts at U.S. Tax Shield and take advantage of the Fresh Start program and new laws that may allow us to negotiate a settlement for the lowest amount possible. Our team of tax attorneys and enrolled agents can stop collections and get you protected so you can take control of your financial future. U.S. Tax Shield offers a price protection guaranteed quote to get you protected today. U.S. Tax Shield is A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, so call now. 800-687-5192. That's 800-687-5192. U.S. Tax Shield. 800-687-5192.
Carlin, ESPN New York YouTube channel, 800-919-3776, 800-919-ESPN. We will get all of your comments in before the end of the show. We also have to dive into a little comment from Mr. Lindor to the New York Post that caught our attention. But right now, it's Wednesday, it's 12:30. We have to find out, is it me that's a nozzle?
There are two sides to every story.
Everybody need to keep a cool booty, okay?
We're here to judge.
I plead the fifth.
Am I right?
Adoy.
Or am I the nozzle?
I was wrong.
Each week, Wednesday, we find out the answer to this question. We have all found ourselves in situations where we're kind of looking around like, is it me? Or are these guys idiots? Are these guys jackasses? Is it all of them? Or is it me? Because sometimes a little self-reflection, not the worst thing in the world. Tom Bauer, he's self-reflective, and he has got scenarios to present to us, and we will determine who's the nozzle. Hi, Tom.
Hi, Chris. All right.
Let's talk. We'll see you out there.
Excellent. Thank you.
Yes.
Let's get right into it today because there's some interesting drama that's been happening, would you believe it, in the Little League World Series. Leading up prior to the Little League World Series. And I will start by saying this might be the easiest yes to Am I the Nozzle ever, but I would just like to go over the stipulations as to why these people may or may not be the nozzle by your own judgment.
Okay.
So the Southwest Regional had a little bit of an issue because there was a champion that represented the state of Oklahoma from Tulsa. But apparently there are a lot of allegations in which, let's just say, maybe they shouldn't have been there to begin with. And one of which has to do with being disqualified from the entire tournament because they had an ineligible player, which happens from time to time. But the allegations are, let's just say, they probably took it very, very far.
All right, well, like how?
Well, first of all, the one player in question is not from Tulsa, Oklahoma. Big deal. But apparently the parents set him up so that way a younger sibling registered for a league in Tulsa, and it wasn't even the right player. However, there is another stipulation. Apparently this had to do with a special needs league in Oklahoma, and apparently the younger sibling may not have even qualified for the special needs league and was just placed there to try and get the kid on the team that was older than him, his older sibling.
All right. So if I have this correct.
Yes.
I want to make sure I'm interpreting this right.
Yes.
The older kid was on the team.
The older kid was on the team and was ineligible.
Or the younger kid, was the older kid pretending to be the younger kid? Like, in other words, was he playing under his younger brother's name?
They were trying to stipulate that the older brother was a representative of Tulsa, Oklahoma, because the younger brother was a member of a Tulsa Little League and probably shouldn't have been there to begin with.
And it was a special needs Little League.
That is what is being alleged, yes.
All right, nozzles across the board. Nozzles everywhere. First of all, like, why do we have to do this in Little League where we have to get the ineligible kid onto the team so that we can cheat and go win? Like, it's that big of a freaking deal. Like, guys, the Little League World Series, I worked it back in the mid-'90s one year. And I have to tell you, it was the greatest thing that I've ever done. It was so much fun to see parents all there supporting their kids and kids out there having genuine fun and, like, you know, trading pens and the burgers and hot dogs are $1 each and things like that. Like, the whole atmosphere, it's free to get in, and the kids in center field at Lamade Stadium, all of that. Like, it was an unbelievable week supporting and being a part of that. But then this crap, like, it's really that important in Little League that we do this. So you're going to have the older brother be able to become eligible because the younger kid, who, by the way, has special needs, lives in Tulsa. And so you can establish residency that way. Like, come on.
By the way, the whole thing gets, there's even more to this rabbit hole, by the way. So apparently the Tulsa team got disqualified. Little League accepted that and played a Southwest Regional Championship. And then apparently some judge down in Waco, Texas decided, I'm going to issue a temporary restraining order.
Why is it always Texas?
So yeah. So that way Tulsa can play. Little League said, no, we are not accepting this. Little League got a lawyer involved, and then another judge undid the temporary restraining order. Meanwhile, by the way, the team that won the regional, they just went home and said, yeah, we won. We're not playing you anyway, no matter what the restraining order would have said.
So the team who won the regional, are they going to Williamsport or not?
Yes, they have been cleared. They are going to Williamsport. This whole thing has been put to bed. The restraining order was lifted, and there will be no legal precedent.
Everybody. Tulsa. Everyone. Nozzle. City of Tulsa. Nozzle. Blame you all. I don't care if you're on the opposite side of it. Just for living in Tulsa, you're the nozzle to even being associated with this to begin with. Just by being in the town.
Even if you're Tulsa Jace, would you say you're a nozzle?
It's unbelievable. I wouldn't say a Jace, you're nozzle, because I've got family somewhat by marriage in Tulsa. So, not all that. But if you're there now and, like, this is part of you're rooting for that team, nozzle. And, like, just doing any of that to begin with. I'm not a parent. I know I'm sitting in the cheap seats on this one, okay? I can only imagine that I would be a nightmare of a father sitting at a Little League game. I can only imagine. I would like to handle myself the right way. But if we're cheating to win Little League games, what the hell are we doing? Honestly. Next.
So we're going to go away from Little League, and we're just going to, we're going out to Greece for this one, Chris. Because there's a very interesting situation that happened, I guess, over the offseason, where there's a Greek team that plays in the Greek, like, basketball league out there, their equivalent of the NBA. Well, apparently their owner is on the record saying that he made a very serious offer to buy out an NBA player to go try and play for their Greek team. Now, when I tell you this, it might think, well, maybe it's one of the, like, lesser-known NBA players. They just want to try and attract some talent to the team. Apparently, the owner was trying to recruit Nikola Jokic to the Greek league.
He was trying to get him to buy out his Denver Nuggets contract?
Oh, you sure bet. Apparently, he made a, quote, very serious offer to buy out Jokic from the Nuggets. And apparently, he says he's not going anywhere until he lands his, quote, dream player to his team.
So how would that even work? So he's trying to pay the Nuggets to let him out of his contract?
That's my assumption. And apparently, when Nikola Jokic, if he hits free agency again, he's going to try and make a pitch to him and his agent as to why he should go play out in Greece.
Listen, their money's green too, okay? And, they've had their issues over the years in Greece, I believe, with the economy and such. But that doesn't have anything, like the country's not paying me. As long as it's an individual wealthy man and the checks are clearing, if I'm Jokic, I mean, does Jokic, of any NBA player, does Jokic strike you as the one guy that would say, you pay me how much? Okay, I go play in Greece. You got it. More than anybody else. Because he wouldn't care. He wouldn't care. And he might even be closer to the track, to the horses he's got racing back home. Listen, I could see Jokic playing in Greece if they wrote the check the right way. I absolutely, and they give him enough time off to go back and forth and check out his horse form and watch the ponies at the track. I could absolutely see that. That guy's not a nozzle. That guy's thinking out loud. That guy's doing the right thing. That guy's not thinking out loud. Outside the box, as they say. Why not?
I would like to point out Jokic next year will be eligible to sign a 5-year, $359.5 million extension that would make him the largest paid, or which would give him the highest paid contract in NBA history. Or he can go play in Greece.
How much more do you think you would have to come up with in Greece? Would Jokic go play for $360 in Greece? Or would he go play for $400 in Greece? Like, what would have to be the number, knowing that there's a cap on what he can make? A cap at $369 million. Exactly, what do you think the number would have to be for Jokic to go?
It's probably going to have to start at over $500 million, or a really, really good appeal to the heart, as you were explaining.
I can't imagine they're drawing in Greece, and the TV rights in Greece are worth $500 million. But that's just me.
Something tells me that's probably not true.
They offer him $500 million. I could see him going. I don't blame the guy. Take your swings, Big Daddy. Get up the plate. Don't let the bat go on your shoulder. Sit on your shoulder. Absolutely not. Not a nozzle. Not in any way.
Maybe they could offer him a suite in the arena for him and his family, so that way they can try and attract him there.
That's just Tom's little Juan Soto dig, because the Yankees wouldn't give him a suite. And, Tom's like, well, we're the Yankees. We don't give anybody suites. Stop, Tom. Your little bitterness. Still coming out a year and a half later. Like, you've won. In general, dude, you've won. And you still want to stomp on their neck while you watch them suffer.
Oh, Ray is grinning ear to ear now, by the way, in the control room.
Oh, yeah. A little jab. From Tom. Go ahead.
All right, I got one more for you, and this comes courtesy of the NBA, because apparently on opening night, I should say opening day here, because the NBA has decided that we're going to kick off the season at 3 p.m. on their opening day. I believe this is the matchup between the Boston Celtics and the Detroit Pistons.
Yes.
Now, you might be saying to yourself, one, why does Detroit and Boston get the first game of the season? But more importantly, you might be asking yourself, two, why the hell is it at 3 p.m.? And that's a question that a lot of people have tried to answer. And I think Dave McMenamin on NBA Today probably gave the best solution as to why this is the case.
I've talked to people around the league today, and they're like, we could sense the excitement for the NBA right now, so let's experiment with this thing.
Let's do it.
And they talked with executives at NBC, and it was kind of a joint decision that this is something we can turn into a celebration of the game. It's already a marquee moment for the league. Let's see if we can enhance it and turn it into a major showcase. Maybe down the line, this becomes a tradition for NBA fans. And listen, it's not that abnormal to see sporting events during the daytime
Baseball
in
does it all the
America.
time.
Baseball, the NHL season tipped off at 5 p.m. or whatever, pucked off.
Got the puck.
There you go. And then also added bonus, hey, it's an international game. 3 p.m. Eastern is primetime viewing in Europe.
Oh, there you go. There's your answer right there. Not
Bingo.
This whole tradition crap that they're trying to start.
Because McManaman did not have me on any of that until the very end there.
Yeah, so the bottom of it is, from what we can extrapolate, the NBA would like to cater to primetime Europe as opposed to the rest of the country. Now, I offer you two takes that I'm seeing on social media about this. One, we don't care about accommodating Europe. Fair. I think many Americans would feel that way. But two, somebody raises the point, maybe this is beneficial because there are kids out there that wouldn't be able to really be subjected to the late game start time. So maybe this could be an alternative option for the NBA.
Okay, a couple things. Number one, I didn't love it. I assumed that when I saw it, they must be starting in France. Like maybe those two teams are playing in France or something. And no, it's not an international game that they're playing. McMenamin's calling basketball an international game. All right, that's where That's 100% where this is. It's all about playing in primetime in Europe. I think it's nice that kids might be able to come home and watch that. Here's the difference, though. You're doing that for Europe, right? We already play some games in Europe here and there. The NFL, when they play internationally, they do not ever do so that really costs the viewer in the United States a chance to watch the game. Like the NFL is playing the game in Australia. And that's a primetime game here. Like they're playing that game in Australia, not in primetime. They're playing it sometime like, I think they're playing like 11 o'clock or 10 o'clock in the morning or something. So the point is, they might be going over there to play, but they're making sure that the viewer at home is always taken care of. Starting it at 9:30 Eastern time on a Sunday morning is not the worst thing in the world if you're playing it at 3 o'clock overseas or 3:30, whatever it would be. This is doing it specifically for that audience. What you're thinking about there is what European TV rights might look like and how much money we can maybe start to build off of that. Listen, it's nozzly. You're on the borderline of nozzle. The one thing I will say is at least it's not, they didn't take the Knicks and Sixers and make that the 3 p.m. game. They didn't do that. They gave you Celtics Pistons, which is an okay game in the Eastern Conference, but it's not going to kill anybody. But let's get away from this idea that we're going to start a new tradition and it's going to be like people taking the day off on the NCAA tournament on Thursday and Friday. Because it's NBA opening day. I got a 3 o'clock matchup, baby. I have got to get home for the Celtics and Pistons. No, that's not what's happening. As a kid, it's nice that they have a game that is set up in the afternoon. That's great. But no, does not do much for me otherwise. I say, boom, nozzle. Carlin, ESPN New York, 800-919-3776. Francisco Lindor said what exactly? That's next.
Miller time. People think it just happens, but that's not true. You know what you got to do? You got to go say hello with some beers. Make the plans. Forget the couch. Go to that thing. Play the game. See them in person. Talk to that stranger. Live a little. Small acts of rebellion that bring us together. Because legendary moments start with a light. It's Miller time. Celebrate responsibly. 2026 Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Okay, girls, ready to go?
Yeah! Mom, I'm hungry. Can I have a snack? Me too, Mommy.
You want a snack?
Yeah!
Got it?
Children learn from our behaviors.
Mommy, can you open this,
All right,
please?
hold on 1 second. Okay. Okay, here.
Thank you.
They learn what is okay from the adults they see.
Mommy, are you on your phone?
If you're a distracted driver, chances are they will be too. What kind of driver are you raising? Funded by the Governor's Traffic Safety Committee.
Hey, Yankees fans! Join us at Yankee Stadium on Friday, August 21st, as the Yankees take on the Toronto Blue Jays. And don't miss Cody Bellinger Bobblehead Night, presented by T-Mobile. The first 18,000 guests through the gates will take home an exclusive Cody Bellinger bobblehead. Get here early, grab the giveaway, and cheer on the Bronx Bombers. Tickets are available now at Yankees.com/tickets.
This is Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg.
I'm telling you right now, I'm buying stock in 96.
I might be buying a jersey.
This kid, Lombard, is not overhyped. This kid is exactly the goods. And it doesn't mean he's not going to have a bad game every now and then. There's a way people move and act and talk that tell you, oh yeah, it's in him. Now it's a matter of sit back and let's watch it happen.
Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg. Weekdays at 3 on ESPN New York. And streaming live on YouTube.
Tricon Construction is growing across New Jersey, delivering larger, more complex commercial projects with the precision today's developers expect. Because when the timelines, capital, and reputation are all on the line, you need more than a contractor. You need a true construction partner. Tricon brings experienced leadership, disciplined project management, and a team built around accountability and execution. From planning to completion, they build with purpose, professionalism, and pride. For serious commercial projects, build with Tricon. Visit triconbuilds.com. That's triconbuilds.com.
Hi, thanks for calling Uline.
Wait, did the phone even ring?
Nope.
Okay, so you answered before the ring. But now you're going to put me on hold, right?
We don't do that here. We're real people answering the phone, ready to help with your order when you are.
Uline has thousands of quality products for your business and warehouse needs, always in stock, ready to ship same day, and backed by Uline's legendary 24/7 customer service. Uline, we warehouse for you.
In a contracting business, you're either growing or you're grinding. Success is no longer about hard work alone. It's about using AI to accelerate impact. ServiceTitan is the only integrated intelligence that seamlessly automates your entire workflow, from first call to final invoice. Born in the trades, built for visionaries ready to stop operating and start automating. ServiceTitan, AI for the trades.
Rich Eisen here with some advice. If high-interest credit card debt is grinding you down, it might be time to call an audible with a SoFi personal loan. It consolidates your debt into one low monthly payment with no fees required. And with as soon as the same-day funding, you can make the right play fast. Call an audible on your debt today at SoFi.com/debtplay. Loans originated by SoFi Bank N.A., member FDIC. Terms and conditions apply. NMLS 696891. Fast funds terms apply at SoFi.com/debtplay.
Congratulations, New York. The Knicks did it. Through battle after battle, they dominated to become this year's NBA champions. Day in and day out, the hard work paid off, and you were there every step of the way. Enjoy the crown. Own it, because this year is your year. A part of your legacy that will never be forgotten. So celebrate this moment, show your pride, and shop the largest selection of official NBA gear at NBAstore.com. A Fanatics experience.
Asked yesterday by Mike Puma of the New York Post, Francisco Lindor told him that he expects to spend the final 5 years of his contract as a New York Met. And he is planning on that being the case. Interesting. Carlin, 800-919-3776, and also on the ESPN New York YouTube channel. You'll remember about a week and a half ago, story came out about Freddie Peralta, and that after he got traded, the story came out after he got traded, a couple of days after, that Freddie Peralta earlier in the year had brokered a meal and a discussion, a meeting of the minds of sorts between Juan Soto and Francisco Lindor, given how bad the relationship was, and felt like it needed to be addressed. And they got together, quote, as men at the time to air out their differences. And apparently during this meeting, quite a bit was said, and they left it feeling better about each other and about where it was. Now, they're not the best of friends, but when you find out that this season, that relationship really appears to be much better, and that Peralta, to his credit, for a guy that was a rental, felt the need to step in and try to do something about it, even though, there was a very real chance he was only going to be here for a year, let alone half a season as he was. Peralta's the guy that stepped in and did it. That's certainly admirable with him, and it's admirable. I don't know that they've 100% ironed out everything, but it's admirable that they've both been willing to try to do that. And when you're Lindor, and you are someone that was made the man by the team when Steve Cohen stepped in, really the first big deal that he made was to trade for Lindor and then hand him $350 million and make him the face of the franchise. And then within a couple of years, somebody else comes along and doubles your salary. Doubles it. $765 million, more than doubles, over 15 years. All of a sudden, you're not the man anymore. Now, you can sit there, as we all would, and say, well, listen, you're still getting your money. What are you complaining about? And we all would sit there and say that. Logically, that would be the case. And I would argue to some, like maybe in a healthy way, you would be able to accept that and just roll with the punches, so to speak. But anybody who's made it as an athlete to that level and has made it to be a superstar at that level, no matter what the deal is, no matter what they are externally, whether you see the ego externally, it's there internally. And you're going to feel a way about it. And I credit Lindor and Soto for kind of getting together on this, whether or not, whatever it had to do with. I think it's an incredibly positive development that happened, and that's an obvious statement. But this, you might not be thinking this is great. I think this is very encouraging. That this is now the mindset of Lindor. To me, Lindor is not saying this in a defiant fashion. It doesn't feel that way, at least. It feels like Lindor is saying this is, I want to be here. This is the place to be. Because he knows when he says that Soto's not going anywhere. And Lindor now has the 10-5 no trade. So he's going to have say as to whether or not he's going anywhere. So if that's the case, I'm encouraged by the fact that he says, I plan on being a Met. It never made any sense whatsoever to consider trading Francisco Lindor near the deadline. There was a point earlier this year where I absolutely felt like it was going to be one or the other at some point, and that meant that Lindor was going to be the guy that was going to get shipped out eventually. I don't feel like that's happening now. I don't. And there was no need to even explore trading Lindor at the deadline, as the Mets kind of, in a silly fashion, let people know that he was available. Because all that did was tick him off. Nobody was taking that contract. But to know that Lindor wants to be here and wants to be a Met, when you were talking about trading him at the deadline, his value has never been lower. You were not going to get anything for him, and that would have been a complete waste of time other than a massive salary dump that I'm sure you would have been picking up a decent piece of. Now, you could still try to maximize this player and what he's going to be. Try to figure out whether or not Lindor can truly be part of the long-term solution here. But knowing that the two of them, at least I hope I'm not being Pollyanna on this, I took this as a very positive development that Lindor said that. That he left no door open there. I plan on being here for the rest of my career. I plan on being here for the next 5 years. He didn't say, you never know. He said, that's what I plan on doing. And that to me is a positive development in a season for the Mets that does not have many positive developments. I think next year is the year where you really find out what these two are capable of being together. It's Carlin, ESPN New York, the K-ster. The great Michael K. is up next. He has got you from 1 to 3. Then Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg on ESPN New York and the ESPN New York YouTube channel.